Can you hear me now? Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm going to check on the other screen. Okay, you can. All right, so check this out. I actually didn't pull anything. What happened basically is just out of nowhere, which makes no sense at all, StreamYard just went ahead and reset my settings, all of them. I don't know if it's because of an update. I don't know what the case be. Without any warning at all, I did hit the mute button. Boom. And it basically set my settings to default. The only thing I could think of is last night I was on Discord and I used my headset, which is this right here, because I don't want to use a studio mic. And maybe it freaked out. And then when it came back into here, it did that. So maybe in the future, I have to just kind of double check those things, which is stupid. But anyway, sorry about that. Want to welcome some people still, and we'll kick it right into the show here in a bit. But yeah, I didn't actually hit the button. Technical difficulties, right? Anyway, let me welcome a few more people. Mario, thank you for being here. We have Dimes, who is here with the FDR avatar. Pretty cool. And thank you for being here. I haven't seen you here before, Dimes, but I'll definitely recognize that FDR avatar in the future. On top of that, we have, I'm just going to double check my sound works. Yeah, it does. Okay. We got Daniel, don't call me Carlos Delgado in the house. And on top of that, yeah, I got that worked out. He states, well, Dime states, but by the way, sorry, Daniel, welcome back. Glad to see you, man. Dime says, great to see this channel growing fast as F. Well, thank you very much, man. A lot of grinding, to say the least. Hard work pays off, but we still have other goals we're still trying to get to. And yeah, you know, but it was really nice getting to the 10K mark. We are fastly approaching, 10,300. We just hit 10,200 the other day. So we're definitely getting that momentum. But I appreciate appreciate the recognition. All right. Mr. Balls Deep is in the house. Yeah, I got it worked out. And HBAR Scorpio, yes. Ricky Tiffy, man. It says, no, sir, Maximus. You gotta do a better job at checking your settings before you come on the show, man. All right. Larry, tell Max his mic is off. Yes. The home ain't heard. All right. Yeah. Let me go further down. Let me figure it out. EK Flow, no sound, my guy. Yeah. It's horrible when those things sound, when those things happen. All right. Think about this, like on an actual, media production, right? Like some of the local news outlets, you have a production team, and there's a guy who could say, yeah, we got to fix that, man. You lost your sound, anyway. But then again, you guys could say it. That's the difference. Yes, by all means, please provide as much liquidity as you could to the Mike Inu project. No pun intended, but yes. All right. HBAR Scorpio, thanks for being here. I want to welcome Tim Shea. I guess he came in the right time where I wasn't having problems of my, you think I open a Chinese restaurant in the middle of the hood and don't know what's going on? I freaking represent, like slapsticks. Anyway, let's see here. I'm perfect at lip reading. Yes, everybody's stating that. That's funny. All right. Coochie boy, will he beat Larry's? No. Because here's the thing, I was welcoming everybody, and then once I see it happen instantly, I can cover it. Where I can't see it instantly is, let's say I'm in a deep dive and I'm not seeing that other particular screen and so on. I don't know. Some people say, well, just get another monitor, Max. Well, yeah, okay. All right, just welcome a few more people. I did see your phone call come in, Mike. Thank you for that. When I see that come in and it just flashes in and then flashes out, it's kind of like, the old classic red telephone, which tells me like, oh crap, we basically reached like DEFCON 5 here. Something's bad. All right. All right, let's see here. Dang at Crypto McDizzle for shizzle. I had a short in on Max. Yes, add it to the current blooper reel. Nothing tops the one about the I forgot what it was. I think it was the me and my sofa queen. Yeah, but not the queen, the king. That one was pretty good. All right. We're almost about ready to get right into it. I want to welcome a few more guys. Steve, the Canadian, who clearly doesn't sound like, oh, hey, Max. Good to see you and Larry doing this thing about Crypto Talk Now, eh? You hosers need to get together and, basically, that HBAR video, that was old news. Anyway. April's going to get some Mike Inu. I knew this was going to be mentioned at some point. Yeah, she's going to get some Mike Inu airdrop later. Wow. And she's got to get it dropped in Wu-Tang style. All right. Well, I'm glad you all got a great sense of humor tonight. All right, Crypto Smith is in the house. What's up, Max? Well, what's up, Sean? Good to see you, man. I guess we're all having a good laugh. I was trying to start things off with I don't know, what's his name? What are we talking about? With some, young Jack Nicholson. I can't do the old Jack Nicholson, hey, how the hell are you? Welcome to Crypto Talk Now. My name is Max. I'll be glad to serve you, if you know what I mean. Anyway, here we go. I want to welcome April Cornwell. If I skipped a comment, sorry about that. Good to see you. Score. Well, apparently Mike Inu is gonna score. Never mind. All right, let's get back on topic. Max, that Canadian accent is worse than the UK. Whatever. I don't care. Here's the thing. I could study accents if I listen to an audiobook, and then I'll get it down. But yeah, I'm a little rusty. It's okay. Watching while waiting for my plane. Oh yeah, you're leaving. Are you leaving Seattle and coming back to, Idaho? All right. And let's see, that was pretty spot on, Jack impression. Yeah, you know what it is. You guys, maybe I'll share it later on. There's an old classic video, and it's Jack, the young Jack Nicholson, working at Jack in the Box on the drive-through, and this dog pulls in, and he basically says to the dog, he's just like, hey, how the hell are you? My name is Jack, and I like to take your order, if you know what I mean. And then the dog's like, I'll just take an order of French fries. And Jack's basically like, sorry, pal. The grease fryer's down for the night. Anyway, you guys probably seen it, but it's pretty good. And he tells him about, who put he's like, let me ask you something. Who put the freaking French fries? And then, dog's like, there ain't no freaking French fries. You guys probably seen it, but anyway, it got pulled up earlier and it was pretty funny. Anyway, let's get into it. We're about 15 minutes into the show. Let's start off with the news here in a bit. Yes, Jack was great. All right, cool. All right, I want to welcome Ahmed, or maybe you pronounce this Ahmed. Hello from Lebanon. Well, thank you. It's glad that we're shows getting out to Lebanon. So, guys, let's welcome Ahmed. If you haven't done so already, it's nice to see that we are reaching broader areas, in the world. Hope to see more of you. We are going to start things off with one of the hot topics that has been brought up lately in regards to stablecoins real quick. Maybe you feel like, oh God, here we go. Well, not exactly. Shout out to Mike Cornwell, who shared some of this particular information with us. Quite a bit actually today. No, I didn't have a chance to go through the whole thing with Crypto Hulk that you shared with me, Mike, because I just didn't have enough time. But maybe I'll take a deeper dive into that, and maybe we could share it like tomorrow or something like that. But check it out. Morgan Stanley, not to be confused with my last name, states stablecoins vital to crypto trading will compete with traditional banks. Now, let's face it, right? This is something that gets brought up quite a bit. So where are we going with this? Well, look at this. It says key points here. Morgan Stanley predicts U.S. crypto regulation will focus on stablecoins. Well, I think we've been talking about this probably since, I don't know, man, like maybe late 2021. maybe early 2021. I don't know. For the last couple of years, this whole topic has been brought up because it's a real threat to traditional finance, right? I mean, no duh. I mean, who's gonna basically, be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go down to, Chase Bank, or I'm going to go down to Wells Fargo, and I'm really excited about opening up a savings account where I could basically earn like, I don't know, 0.25% or something like that. Not even a full percentage, right? Nobody's really getting excited about that. Well, Max, if you get a CD, you could get 3%. Ooh, wow. Whoop-de freaking do, right? Exactly. So when we get more into this, it states that researchers say that stablecoin products can potentially compete with traditional banking systems, and its falling market capitalization indicates a reduction in crypto liquidity, and leverage, according to CoinDesk. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency, if you didn't know, whose value is pegged to another asset, such as US dollar or gold. Glad that they pointed out, because it's not always a 1-1 ratio, right? So it says the bank further notes that US regulations have started to limit stablecoin products, and expects that regulatory efforts will focus on stablecoin regulation, with issuers likely required to register and prove they hold enough liquid assets to back the issued stablecoins. Now, when we go further into this, it states right here that during the bull market 2021, let's face a lot of people like myself, I put a lot of focus on it because that's in reality the last time we had that nice feeling of, oh man, really getting some nice gains, right? But it states in that particular market, Bitcoin's price led the growth in stablecoin market capitalization. Now, why was that? Well, like it says right here, rising market prices enticed traders to take on more leverage. And that's the key thing, in the form of borrowing stablecoins. Well, yeah. But where is this also going? Well, hear me out. That was, of course, used to buy more crypto, right? So falling market prices were catalyzed by a reduction in crypto liquidity caused by traders losing long crypto positions, followed by redemptions of the stable coin received. Morgan Stanley, on the other hand, suggests that regulatory efforts will likely focus on stable coin regulation in the near future, which, let's face it, that near future could basically be coming here soon. Now, my thing is, I don't think stable coins are going away by any means. But, I understand that maybe there's going to be some kind of compromise, because, the traditional finance or trade fi, I should say, they still want to operate. They still want to exist. Obviously, they still are. They feel as though that all this stuff with stable coins has technically been a threat to them. It just, if anything, I think we will get part of that regulatory clarity here soon. And if anything, let's face it, the main topic will be stablecoins. Even when you hear it from our top elected officials, whether you're a fan of some of them and so on, this whole concept of the stablecoin issue probably will be the top of the queue when it comes to getting clarity, if you will, and rightfully so, because even people like myself, I mean, I was thinking about it, I didn't do it, but hey, sell the house for 400,000, during the height of the whole housing market boom or shortage, whatever you want to call it, and then basically convert everything to stable coins, like maybe like Circle or something like that, and then earn a particular yield on it. That sounded good, but as the saying goes, you need something a little bit more solid, something a little bit more in writing, because for one, that price could fluctuate. There's all these things in the world about some of the things you see right here. So, I'm glad I held off on it. But here's the thing, right? You will see a lot more in the future, not just this whole debate about stable coins, but like, what are we currently seeing as we speak? Even with, Ripple, they got this whole thing with, I guess you could say the tokenization of real estate. There's some other ones experimenting with this, but that's where it's at. We need to have more clarity in regards to the whole stablecoin thing. This article, of course, talks a little bit about that. Shout out to Crypto Mike for bringing it to us. I'm going to kick it back into the comments here in a bit. I do want to state the next thing we're going to be getting into, of course, is Quant, XRP, and so on. There's quite a bit of XRP coverage here tonight. But yeah, let's welcome a few more people. Thanks for hitting that like if you haven't done so already. And if anything, maybe we could take up to 50. That'd be great. April states, Mike Inu is going up. I hear. Wink, wink. Wow. Well, must be nice. So cool. Very cool. All right. Happy birthday, April. Oh, it's April's birthday. Really? Huh. Well, then, April, I didn't know that. Happy birthday to you, April. All right. Rafael Santos is in the house. Always good to see you, Rafael. Appreciate you having you here. Tim Shea says, I would think Mike Inu would be going down. God. All right. Welcome to DGen Crypto, home of the, I don't know where I'm going with this. All right. So, hello, Sir Max, Sir Brian, Sir Tim. Yes, thank you very much. Brian Dowie, Crypto Hulk finds out blank 2 days before everyone. Yeah, that's kind of like, I guess, what makes him famous. He does kind of, pull things out. I mean, like, how about this? All right, I'll share it again. This is my attitude when it comes to Crypto Hulk. I mean, I like Crypto Hulk. He's a good guy. He's got kind of a different sense of humor, but that's all right. So, like, he could basically take the same article, right? Seriously, this is my thing at Crypto Hulk. And he could pull the same article that everybody took a look at right here, right? And then he could be like, all right, if you guys went here, you will see in this particular snippet, this is linked to this particular source. This is the hot stuff. And it's like, what, where did you get that, Crypto Hulk? Yeah, if you would just click on this right here, you will see that, we're going to get regulatory clarity within the next 15 days. Here's why. Boom, tune into Crypto Hulk at such and such time tonight. I got the hot, juicy stuff. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't see that. That's the way I look at Crypto Hulk. And of course, you got to look beyond, as you guys would say, the fur. But anyway. All right. So let's welcome a few more people. Of course, Crypto Smith is in the house. Good to see you, man. I want to welcome Blackwood. And I don't know, is that a picture? I think we asked this before, but is that a picture of your dog? Or is that just a picture of a dog that's just like, hey, how the hell are you? Anyway, let's go further down. I do see some recognizable people in the comments. But anyway, before I get to you guys, let's see what we got here. I got a gifted membership to Hulk. He's crazy, but knows his ish. Yeah. So you got to basically, you want a lifetime supply of Nair? Is that what you want? For you can remove all. Never mind. I guess that's a bad joke. All right. So anyway, all right. Hulk is funny as well. Yes, absolutely. GS, I haven't had a chance to watch him yet. Huh. April Cornwell says, I had a very beautiful day. My hubby took off work. We had Mexican food and frozen margaritas. Then he bought me green flowers. He bought you green flowers. Like, what do you do? Reach into somebody else's backyard and basically yank a bunch of weeds and, like, chopped off the dandelion heads and said, here, honey, here's some green flowers. Never mind. That's a bad joke. Okay, some real green flowers. All right. It was a beautiful day. Very blessed for today. Very awesome. Very cool. That was cool. Ahmed, what kind of information you get as a paying member, Brian Dowie? Huh, that is a good question. Bless us, my God. Yes. All right. I'm glad that everybody's wishing April a happy birthday. And let's see here. Ahmed, his show gives a lot of info, but even more info on the members' show. Oh, that's interesting. Wayne Side is in the house. Peace out, dude. Surf's up, man. All right. That's a horrible impersonation, Max. You don't even know if he's a real surfer. He might be for some, other area other than Malibu or Oceanside or San Diego or whatever. Very, very sure. All right. Stump Riders here. Welcome, Stump. Crypto Mike says the SEC is going after those who hold custody and taking out exchanges. That's the subject of Crypto Hulk video. Yeah, I just hadn't had a chance to kind of get to it all yet. Sorry about that. All right. I want to welcome this guy right here, Mr. Mentalect. Yes, I know. I got to say it. Hello. Is it Mentalect you're looking for? Lionel Richie. All right. Wayne Side's still here. Thank you for being here. All right, let's kick it back into the show here in a bit. Found it somewhere on Google and it's stuck. Was thinking about changing it. Oh, okay. It was just kind of interesting. It's like, I don't know. He has kind of a unique look right there, but that's fine. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh jeez. I'm sorry. I get it now. Kind of a little late to the parade, right? Anyway, I'm low on finger power, so everyone cheers. All right, cool. Okay. Skateboarder, Badlands. All right. Wes RA is in the house. What's up, CTM fam? Thank you for being Wes. He's got the cash to spend on the crypto. Got the fiat. All right. Green or purple flowers are the best. And last but not least, before we kick it back, what is your price prediction for XLM in the next 5 years? Well, within the next 5 years, I'm just being honest. I kind of hopped on the bandwagon with this. The way I look at least over $1,000 per XLM or even higher than that. Some of you guys got it way higher than that. But yeah, I'm just looking at it also from the perspective of it could happen even within 5 years. If you technically look at what's going to happen with ISO 222, the mandate should be done or fully rolled out with the whole central banks of the world and so on. And that should end November 2025. Right now we're in 2023. So technically speaking, I mean, less than 3 years. So I think we can get to some pretty high levels, to say the least, when it comes to not just XLM, but Ripple, XRP, you name it. All right. River states, what wallet supports Cypherum? I don't have that answer. I've just been recently getting into, doing more coverage about Cypherum and so on. I'll tell you this much. The guy who could tell you a lot about this, among some other people here in the comments, basically is the Crypto Smith, aka Sean. He does Cypherum videos and so on. Just to give him a quick plug, as Larry would say, please subscribe to our fellow brother in crypto arms, who is this guy right here, who's about to appear on your screen, who is Sean the Crypto Smith. And right now he's at 1,580 plus subscribers. And as you can see right here, if you go to the video section, he just talked about Cypherum about 5 days ago. It says, years building to be the king. There's another particular video he did a couple weeks ago. It says the most important crypto you never heard of, which is Cypherum. I watched it and then I became more interested in as well. And we've been covering it over here continuously with short updates. I even did more of a intro on our end at CTN for Cypherum. But as far as what wallets, I don't have the answer, but I'm sure maybe somebody like Brian Dowie or whoever else can share that info in the comments, because we have a pretty smart community over here and a lot of you guys know your stuff. All right, let me stop the share, and if anything, let's get back into it. All right, so yes, Boomer F and Sooner, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, buddy. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's kick it into something else, and that basically is this whole thing with, believe it or not, no, it sounds crazy, Quant. Yeah, of course, Quant. All right, so I want to show you guys this, and shout out to Crypto Mike who shared this. And if anything, yeah, just like Crypto Mike says, check this out, and we definitely will. All right, this comes straight from blogs.oracle.com. All right, now I remember a while back putting emphasis on the particular Quant Oracle partnership, and I don't know who it was. I'm thinking maybe I don't know. I shouldn't even mention this specific person. He does watch the live show sometimes. He's a good guy. It's just that he kind of wants. No, I'm not referring to Cool Cat. This is a different guy. He kind of said something like, all this is speculative until he sees something in writing. He doesn't really think like there's a quant connection. Well, if you happen to be watching, you know who you are. And if anything, this should squash that immediately. I just want to state that. So for all the naysayers basically saying that the whole thing of Quant and Oracle, it's just a partnership. There's really nothing solid there. Let's just, sorry. We gotta look more into this. So I'm gonna basically copy this real quick on the image. I'm going to blow it up in a way you can see it a lot better. Yeah, here we go. That's a lot better. So here it is. And basically it states some of the things that you see here, right? I mean, and it's, of course, look at the original source, blogs.oracle.com. So this is not some just BS made up stuff. It says Oracle fully understands these issues, right? For instance, like customer clients that use different DLTs and need those DLTs to interoperate in order to access new markets and some of the other things outlined above. But yeah, look what it says specifically. It states, and I'll read it again, Oracle fully understands these issues, which is why the partnership works so well. The partnership with Quant is now working in a highly collaborative manner with Oracle. Boom, there you go. To roll out solutions on the Oracle blockchain platform for a variety of sectors. A key sector that we are engaged in is financial services. Yeah, no kidding. There are specific challenges that come with blockchain interoperability in finance, including identity mapping, privacy, security data, protection, and disintermediation, all of which Quant and Oracle are working jointly on. The modular architecture of Quant's flagship product is just that, Overledger, their operating system. Is perfect for addressing these challenges. There are 3 layers to Overledger, so on and so forth. But again, plain as day, in writing, Quant. So I wish I could go back to that, maybe just drop it in the recorded section. Just be like, look, remember when you said, unless you see something in writing, you don't believe it? Well, boom. This is a long-awaited follow-up to that. All right, on top of that, I want to show you guys this. Shout out to Crypto Mike once again. Gives you a whole breakdown in this particular figure, right? It says HTLC orchestration between Oracle blockchain platform and Ethereum using Quant's Overledger, right? Because if anything, when we say this is all interoperable and so on, you need to basically have a visualization of that sometimes. That's what people need. Look at this. Pretty big stuff. Look at what's going on in Ethereum, right? Obviously, the ERC20 token contracts, right? To approve the function, transfer the function, and so on. It needs to go to, where it says get escrow order secret, close escrow, get escrow order, create escrow. I mean, those are the first steps and so on. But you understand how this can go through Overledger. You have these the gateway. You have some of this from Overledger, as in the operating system, to write the service, read the service, search the service, subscription service, and then that connector, right, to Ethereum. And how about this? The Oracle blockchain connector. So just for example, like you see where Ethereum sits on this particular diagram, understand how it's broken down for Oracle. Very, very similar model to what you see built on Ethereum. But if anything, Oracle is blazing fast. Ethereum is old, outdated technology, but at the same time, you got to realize that people are still going to access these old particular legacy systems. And if anything, you have to have something that's interoperable to make it happen. But again, very, very similar on the blockchain model to get it done. That's one of the key things I want to show you guys here. Again, I think Mike recognized that as well. I want to show you guys also this real quick. I'm going to blow it up in a way in which you can see it a lot easier, because I mean, on the screen right now, I realize that's probably, pretty small. So obviously, when it comes to quant, you know, if somebody had to say sum up quant in one word, well, obviously it's interoperability, right? As you can see right here, there's some key highlights, and it mentions about, Oracle's focus on blockchain interoperability. We basically have, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 times that I know of, outlined some of these things. And it's all great to, go back to it for reference and so on, especially understanding some of the other things like with IBM, Microsoft, um, work with Hyperledger, Fabric, and so on, right? But when you go further into this, um, look at this particular statement. It says, third and perhaps the most challenging facet of interoperability is cross-ledger support when different technologies and protocols are involved. And that's key, right? So it says a few open source efforts are focused on this challenge, including Hyperledger, Cactus Project, and interoperability has recently been added as SG7 working group in ISO TC 307 standard. And oh, by the way, just in case you didn't know, ISO TC 307 is what? Is Gilbert Verdian's original standard that he created back in 2014, and it's the quant standard, right? So there's this particular group, this particular standards committee on blockchain and distributed ledger technologies, right? Now look at what it says here towards the bottom. And that basically is, it says, while these efforts are progressing, none have yet produced enterprise-grade solution ready for production. In parallel, Oracle fintech partner Quant, here's the hot, juicy stuff, has been working with Oracle and the Oracle blockchain platform team to address these challenges with a production-ready solution. The partnership has resulted in Oracle certifying Overledger for interoperability with blockchain platform. In reality, that area should have been highlighted, in my opinion. If I was putting this together, that area should have been highlighted because, if anything, that is the key thing. To get their certification, that Overledger, Quant's operating system, basically, solves that interoperability with Oracle blockchain platform. That's huge in itself because it solidifies the Quant brand, solidifies what they're doing, so on and so forth. Now, when we go further into this, it says, for customers looking for production-ready infrastructure to support cross-ledger interoperability between Oracle blockchain platform and other ledger technologies, Quant provides an immediately available solution certified in Oracle cloud infrastructure. Think about how powerful that is in itself. I mean, they're like literally, in my opinion, probably the biggest name when it comes to, cloud infrastructure. So think of some of the biggest switches, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about if you're in the IT, but like, here we at our house, we use basically a router, right? You should, at least, in my opinion. You might not use, I might use some other type of gateway. But the key thing is what was referred to as a switch. It's basically like a giant router for a bunch of computers or servers can plug in at a data center, for instance. I have one, and it's huge. Oracle is probably the biggest name to allow that to happen, right? So it says designed to deliver universal interoperability between permission and permissionless DLTs. Quant solution is aimed at customers that want to be basically DLT agnostic, and how very, very true it is to see some of these particular statements. All right, a little bit more in regards to this. And it's this right here. And we'll get to that in just a bit. And it's shout out to Gray LUNC in regards to this whole thing with the Digital Pound Foundation, the Quant Connection, and so on. We obviously know Gilbert is part of the Digital Pound Foundation. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We'll get into this in just a bit. And if anything, I want to welcome a few more people and read some comments, especially if you guys have any specific questions. Consider smashing that like button. Definitely helps get the show out to more and more people out there. And can't thank you enough for being here tonight. All right. Mia is here. Cypherian Wallet from the App Store. Cool. Thank you very much for being here, Mia. Yes. 53 peeps, 42 likes. Hit the like button. Thank you for stating that. All right. Ahmed states, hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. There's an announcement from Larry. If you haven't seen it already, it says, we are working on some great things behind the scenes for CTM family. Next week, we will release some of these things we all have been working on. Yes, he has been working on some things, and we are very excited to share some of that coming up here soon. Of course, I mentioned the whole thing with the game, and I'm looking forward to that, but that's not the main thing that we're going to be announcing. And if anything, I want to let's see here. Larry wins the game show. I don't know. It'd be really nice if we can at least at the very minimum, maybe introduce the beta, if you will, to you guys maybe next week. But yes, it's gonna be fun. Larry and his nephew were able to test it out, and they had a lot of fun. And I had fun, basically, hosting it, trying to do like a test trial. It was pretty cool. All right. So let's see here. Max has been crushing it on the live shows and recorded videos. So grateful for Max. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Max, new Swift info tag. All right. I'll get there a second. Hi there, Open Mind. Welcome. All right. Let me open that up for a second. Let me see where we're at, basically, real quick. Got some Swift info. Oh, that's a different PM or DM, I should say. Back in the day, we used to call it PMs, private messages. Nowadays, everybody calls it DMs. But that's okay. Let's see. You got quite a bit. All right, so I'm gonna open both of these, and yeah. All right. So let's start it off with a couple of these. Shout out to Crypto McDizzle, for shizzle manizzle for show. So there's this right here, and it says Europe Migration Weekend, and this comes from this particular source. Let me see if I can pull this up. Share this tab instead. This comes from a PDF. I'm sure you guys can see this. So this is big enough. Interesting stuff, right? So it states Migration Weekend Playbook for T2 participants for the European Central Bank Euro system. So this is, I guess you could say, some of the hot, juicy stuff, right? Should be. One of the main topics, obviously, for tonight is this whole thing with ISO 222. I mean, let's face it, that's what the thumbnail is all about, right? So it states that you have this migration period. We were all excited about a lot of the stuff that was supposed to happen in late 2022 and so on. But they do have some updates apparently in regards to the pre-migration validation activities and updates based on the outcome of the February MWDR. It states working document for distribution participants. I mean, you can see these particular dates. Like there's this one, right? It says because you have to keep in mind their calendar system on how they do dates is different from us. So the way you got to read this is, technically speaking, this would be the 14th day of the second month of 2023. So technically, what is that? Yesterday. So hold on a second. Gosh dang it. Hold on just a second. All right. Sorry about the interruption. And see where I'm at. Sorry about that. Sometimes it's frustrating. Yeah, you can see right here it states, where was it with this? The dates. So yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit backwards. So I mean, yesterday was the 15th. So I mean, already you have this particular one, working document for distribution to participants. I mean, it's nice to see like the whole thing, because I know some people, we're all focused. I should say we're all focused. Some of us are, want a specific date, like March 20th, right? But reality, I mean, they have a whole outline about the migration weekend, migration of balances completed, the green light to begin on T2P activities. I actually want to just jump to that real quick, because there's one thing to get things, migrated, right? And there's another thing about the green light. Green light should be interpreted as what? Think about it. As we would say for the longest time, probably over a year now, at least not with us. Maybe you guys heard it from other outlets, right? The flip of the switch, right? That's what you want to hear about, is the flip of the switch. So let's get into some of this particular stuff. And if anything, that's what interests me, right? If I was watching. So that states that is basically on page, I think that's page 12 on the table of contents. So I want to jump to that real quick. Let me just type in 12. And here we are on page 12, and it basically states that the T2 participant users will initiate the internal adaptations of systems which are required for the communication with CLM and RTGS through this particular abbreviation. It says a non-exhaustive list of these systems includes collateral and operations management systems, treasury management applications. That sounds really interesting to see that listed there. Accounting systems, Swift connectors. My God, right? So it's like, are we actually getting an actual outline of in writing? Apparently, well, yeah, seems to be the case. All right, so how about the whole thing about the green light, right? Technically speaking, that would be the flip of the switch. So it states description. Once the green light or flip of the switch has been given by the respective central bank, T2 participants reconcile the balances of its respective MCA, which should reflect the closing balance of the last target 2 business day and possible marginal lending / overnight deposit established in target 2 at end of day on Friday, the 17th of March. So it's nice to see that, technically speaking, they're trying to get this done before March 20th. Maybe because, it's one thing to have a mandate, right? So you need to have things ready to go, ready to be primed and ready to go. And then maybe, boom, flip of the switch really is March 20th. I'm just going based on what I'm interpreting here. This is exciting stuff. Some of you guys maybe think, well, yawn, I don't know, but I think it's interesting because there's one thing to have these specific dates mentioned to us all this time, and it's another thing to actually get it in writing with a playbook. Literally, it says migration weekend playbook for T2 participants. And this whole thing with target 2 has been big, right? We've been talking about this for a while. I think we talked about maybe a week or so ago about that one particular weekend in early February where this was all going to start happening, basically. But there you have it in regards to that. I think that's pretty interesting. There's, of course, a lot more in regards to all this. I will try to, if anything, retweet this. I'm going to hit a like. I'm going to retweet this. There's a little bit more in regards to all this, and I have it from Crypto Mike. I'm going to share this tab instead. And it's this right here. I'm also going to retweet this just in case you guys want some of this. Look what it says right here, though. If I could just pull it up again. I'll pull it up for it's a little bit bigger. Give me just a moment. Because I also realize, from the share side, it might not be as big as you want. But then again, maybe this is just a little bit blurry. Hold on a second. Give me just one more. I guess we'll keep it at that particular one because this one is a little bit blurry. All right. So it states unearthing the potential of DLT in digital currencies. As we know, Swift has been exploring the potential of distributed ledger technology ever since the technology first emerged. It says in 2016, Swift completed a groundbreaking assessment of the status of DLT. Now, before I get more into this, I'm glad that we're recognizing this. At the same time, understand who Swift has been talking to over the years throughout this particular, not this year. Sometimes I forget the word, in 2023. In 2022, they talked to quite a few of the big players. Oh, by the way, remember, they even talked to Quant, believe it or not. They talked to Martin Hargreaves of Quant. We have that particular coverage and recorded videos and so on. How do we know that? Because of the whole thing that happened at Cybos. Remember, that was a big event and so on. So you already have those big players talking to each other and so on. But look what it states. It mentions that in 2016, Swift completed a groundbreaking assessment of the status of DLT, and we have continued to test and evolve the technology in numerous projects and proofs of concept, I should say, ever since. Swift followed up or followed this up with the largest DLT project in the financial industry at the time, bringing together 34 financial institutions from around the world to test the potential for DLT to enable real-time Nostro account reconciliation and liquidity optimization. Now, guys, this is really huge because you've been following everything that's been going on with Ripple's XRP. What do we already know about the whole statement of basically, Jesus. Hold on a second. Excuse me. I'm back. So anyway, so like it states here, it says Swift followed this up with the deep. So frustrating sometimes, I swear. Anyway, Swift followed this up with the largest DLT project in the financial industry at the time, bringing together 34 financial institutions from around the world to test the potential of DLT in real-time Nostro account. So what I'm trying to state with this is basically, if you've been following the likes of Ripple with XRP for a while, you understand the significance of how we're taking Nostro Vostro out of the equation with what, right? Distributed ledger technology, right? Think about it, right? And on top of that, when you combine what they bring to the table with ODL and so on, it's massive, right? But you like what is mentioned here, and that is, again, I got to reiterate this because I did kind of lose my train of thought with getting interrupted twice. It says the world to test the potential for DLT to enable real-time Nostro account reconciliation and liquidity optimization. Again, liquidity optimization. Ripple's on-demand what? Liquidity. Doesn't specifically state that, but we already drew those connections many, many times. And on top of that, it's not that Swift is being replaced. If anything, it's being what? It's being upgraded. Got to reiterate that as well. Another key thing I want to mention here also is I'm probably going to read all of this, to be honest, because there's nothing here that should be left out. All right, that's the key thing. So it says, since then, the discussion has evolved as we see the emergence and development of the token-based DLT networks. Think about that in itself. Token-based DLT networks. Why am I reading that verbatim? Simple. The connection to crypto. That's the main thing, right? Understanding which particular tokens or coins which have key blockchain technologies to, as the saying goes, unearth the potential of DLT and digital services. There's quite a few on that particular list. It's not just Ripple, right? So, like it says right here, the development of token-based DLTs. You can name kind of a few right there, right? On top of that, it was nice to see somebody retweet that right while I was speaking. That was cool. On top of that, that gives a variety of challenges, even in trade finance, right? Securities lending, bond issuance. But how about this? Trade finance. Who stands ahead of the pack when it comes to trade finance? I put out a video literally earlier today about that. XDC, the R3 connection, if you will, 90% of banks use R3. Yeah, there's a reason why you put so much emphasis on all this stuff, because it's one thing if you're, oh yeah, I'm looking at this, this guy came out with this garbage meme token project. He doesn't show his face, neither does his team. His whole dev team are dressed in basically Halloween costumes, and the guy's name is basically Dark Web Dorsey or something like that. Okay, you're gonna throw money away at some garbage crap like that, and you're not gonna understand where the real money is at with basically the financial flip of the switch, if you will, and what it was tied into. That's why we talk about some of these particular things and so on. Don't get me wrong, there's some ones that are legit. I'm not taking a chance on a lot of those. I'm not going to take the chance of not realizing that I think we're running out of time. But anyway, so it says securities lending, bond issuance, commercial bank money payments, and even central bank money such as the e-krona. SWIFT is actively engaging with central banks, financial institutions, technology providers, and academics to understand possibilities that central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, could enable and how SWIFT could support central banks should they wish to implement digital currencies in the future. And that's one of the main key things here. It's not that, these guys all got fired from SWIFT. They're being replaced. Yeah, it's an upgrade. And they're upgrading it to what? Digital ledger technologies. And what's tied into what? Token-based DOT networks and ecosystems. What are some of the particular ecosystems that stand out? Come on, think about it. You've done your own research, at least you have. If you're new to all this, well, we're glad to be able to help you with this. All right. Shout out to Crypto Mike. I know I kind of went on a tangent with that, but it's true. Everything you mentioned here, or everything we saw here, is pretty big because it's literally coming here soon. Instead of getting specific dates, you're getting literally what's called a playbook in regards to all this. All right. Gonna kick it back into the comments. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see here. Please drop your questions. We appreciate all our CTM family members. Yes, thank you very much. I'm gonna go further down. Cash Cat says, going to be lurking while driving for a few. Thank you for that, Cash. I'm excited to see what March brings us. I think it will be the start of the utility run. Yep. We basically see eye to eye for the most part when it comes to that. Thanks for that, Brian. I'll be pointing out that would be awesome. Brian, let's hope. Yeah, I think it's a lot more than just hopium. There's one thing to see what you saw presented with the whole thing of the migration weekend playbook. There's a difference between buy the rumor, sell the news, because when you think about buy the rumor, sell the news in itself, usually it's just one specific project, one positive catalyst, to maybe move price. We're talking, look at all those ones we're mentioning, like I'm just going to double check something right here. Literally speaking, yeah, I'm reading this again. 34 financial institutions from around the world to test the potential, token-based DOT networks and ecosystems. Many central banks of the world, not just a few, many. If that's a case of buy the rumor, sell the news, that's just too many different companies, organizations, institutions to just say, oh, this is just buy the rumor, sell the news on a specific date. I think it's way past that. All right. Let's see. We got a few guys still commenting. Thank you for that. Brian Dowie states, it's going to happen at some point. March seems to be good to me with ISO in Europe. Hopefully the lawsuit ends then. West states, what's the need for SWIFT if XRP is going to succeed? Will they be working together? Yes, that's the whole point, is basically working together using these particular distributed ledger technologies. Yes, that's the key thing. McDizzle says, I dropped you another fire tag to Maxo. Okay. Let me see. Okay, you got one right there. And you got one right there. So those are the two that you're talking about. Let me just double check if you don't have more. All right. So if anything, I'm going to retweet some of these. And Crypto Talk Now, sideline reporter Mike Cornwell doing it big. I'm going to go ahead and share this real quick. And here we go. I believe this is how we go. Might not be the one in order that you want, but that's okay. So let's see here real quick. Ledger Insights, blockchain for business. It says SEC Commissioner custody proposals will block access to crypto. Yeah, I did see about this whole thing. A lot of people, this is where the whole thing of people staying, again, reiterating the whole thing of, get your crypto off exchanges and, get them into the hardware wallet and so on. But let's look at this. It says, today the SEC published a new proposed rules regarding the need for financial advisors to use qualified custodians to control customer assets. By the way, shout out to EE, or was it KK? There's so many of you guys now. There's AR, there's EE, and there's KK. Okay, it's KK. First comment. He was talking about a little about this, like, let's not try to sweat this too much. We'll be all right. Anyway, back to this. So it says SEC published new proposal rules regarding the need, I should say, for financial advisors to use qualified custodians to control customer assets. Let's blow this up just a little bit. Excuse me. I apologize. So whether or not they are securities, Republican Commissioner Ueda urged, or I should say, argued that the new proposals make it hard for advisors to deal with crypto assets and be compliant. Quote, you could an advisor, I don't know, I think it's a typo, seeking to comply with this rule, possibly invest client funds in crypto assets after reading this release. This approach to custody appears to mask a policy decision to block access to crypto as an asset class. Again, more doom and gloom. It deviates from the Commission's long-standing position on the neutrality of the merits of investments. While Commissioner Hester Pierce is often forthright on these topics and was the sole vote against moving forward with the proposal. Excuse me. Ueda supported the proposal despite strong objections. Let me see here. All right, so it says Ueda was referring to several points in the 434-page document. I understand some people maybe, you're turning in like, why is he just reading all this verbatim? You gotta keep in mind, I just got the link. I'm human. I can't just skim through it all perfectly. I mean, I do a pretty good job of that, but anyway, we're getting with this. So yeah, several points of this document. Firstly, while banks have developed digital asset custody solutions, the papers mention federal banking regulators have raised safety and soundness concerns about banks getting involved. All right, so this right here, I can at least tell you guys this much, and that is the way I look at it is, look at the focus here. Federal bank regulators, right? Safety and focus, getting, worry about them getting involved with all these particular things and so on. So what? Basically what's going to happen for the likes of the central banks of Europe and so on, what's going on in the world. Again, and this is another perfect example of this is where the debate comes from, where people feel as though that the U.S. is behind. It's so conflicting, right? So when I see something like this, I say to myself, all right, there's this, where it seems like there's so much doom and gloom. And, remember for the longest time, all of us, well, for the most part, maybe somebody saw through all this, but we were like, this sucks that the United States is basically going to be the last to show up to the big show. Then Mike also pointed out, and I did a few recorded videos pointing out like, hey, that's not the truth. If anything, they're working in the background. They actually might be the first to it. I don't know about being first to it, but they're definitely not going to be, the last to show up to the big show. So when you see stuff like this, again, it kind of makes you draw your own conclusion, but it says the paper implies that state chartered trust banks are less trustworthy than federally chartered banks. The proposals ask for feedback on whether qualified custodians should be restricted to federally regulated banks. As an aside, several crypto custodians, including Coinbase, Custody, Paxos, we recently talked about that last Monday with Sean, the Crypto Smith, on Utility Talk Now, in regards to Paxos, and it says, and Fidelity Digital Assets are New York State chartered trust banks. We explored that further in an article yesterday. And because most crypto trading platforms, exchanges are not qualified custodians, if financial advisors use these platforms, they will be non-compliant. While this is true, many users have lost significant sums as crypto exchanges and lenders have gone bankrupt during the past year without properly segregating and safeguarding client assets. I mean, I guess for a person that's non-crypto, right? They see this, they think, oh, well, this is good. To me personally, this is just another reason for the SEC to justify this. Let's just be honest about this. There's just another reason for that. There's another reason for them to, beat the drum of traditional finance, supposedly, right? So other custody highlights. I mean, some specific quotes here. Hold on a second. I mean, if there's something else in here, Mike, that you want completely highlighted, that's fine. But give me a second. So it says one of the proposal's requirements is for a qualified custodian to have exclusive possession and control over assets. I mean, I already gathered that. The challenge with crypto assets is that if a custodian demonstrates a private key, they put the asset at risk of theft. Also, in some cases, sometimes the client and custodian have access to the private key, and so both affect transfers. And of course, this is where Gary Gensler did that recent video, and he's just like, not your keys, not your coins. Remember, I'm sure you do. It says the requirement to use qualified custodians waived in the case of privately offered securities. However, the proposal states that this exception is unlikely to apply to securities issued on a permissionless blockchain. The comment period for the SEC proposal will run 60 days. I did see this the other day, from when the proposal is published in the Federal Register. And I don't know, it's just the timing of all this, and then combined with what is literally going to happen at the end of March, it's crazy stuff. I mean, it's something to be said if we do get a Ripple victory in March. I'm not saying it's going to be on March 1st or anything like that. Heck, it might not even happen in March. But if it did, how would it affect with this? Drop in the comments how you feel as though would things start to change. If anything, would this be an accelerator point for the SEC to keep dropping some of their doom and gloom, if you will? We'll get to this other particular one. Hold on a second. I think there's another one. Yeah, here it is. So I opened up one, and here's the other one. So it states from Crypto Mike, shout out to him. Wow, right? All right. Let me see if I can blow that up just a tad bit more. Might be blurry, but that's okay. As long as you can see it, that's what counts. Yeah, I'll try to make this as big as I can. All right, yeah, this is nice and big. You can see it. So, oh yeah, there literally is the date. These are why we mention these specific things. Here's the consistent date of March 20th, 2023, on a Monday. It even has the times. I don't know what specific time that is. I don't know if it's UTC. I mean, usually crypto related is UTC, but I mean that doesn't matter. All right, so it's the dates. Post migration cutoff for customer payments, cutoff for interbank payments, and CRDM changes. Start of data propagation. The last one, I mean, I know it's not highlighted. It says the minimum reserve calculation is performed at EOD on March 20, 2023. Therefore, the running average will be displayed once BD and this particular date has started. But look at that. Cutoff for interbank payments. Cutoff for customer payments. Yeah. What do you guys think in regards to this? You think it's really that big of a deal? I think it's a big deal. Again, drop in the comments what you think in regards to this. All right. Shout out to Crypto Mike for bringing it to us. I know that there was a lot more than just 5 minutes in and 5 out, but that's okay. I'm going to highlight this spot, and then I want to kick it down to Wes with the super chat. Thank you, Wes. And if anything, let's get into that. So thanks for the $5 super chat. Fire info tonight as usual. Peace out, y'all. Thank you very much, Wes. Appreciate it, man. And on top of it, let's get back to where we were at. Brian Dowie states, when the lawsuit ends, we will see all the NDAs come out. All the major players already own XRP, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel that way as well. He already bought it at rock bottom. But yeah. All right, balls deep. Have you looked at RAO? They are tokenizing real estate. That sounds pretty interesting. No, I haven't seen that. But that is pretty interesting in itself. Are you actually into that? And if so, how long has the project been around? All right, let me go further down. Thanks again to Wes. And Brian Dowie says, Max, any thoughts on Tacit Pay? I don't have any thoughts on that particular one. Brian states, is that one for blockchain payments? Yes, team. Yes, Tim. Seeing connections with Ripple on TikTok last few days. Huh, interesting. Well, that in itself sounds like something to look more into. So maybe I will look into that. Hold on. Add it to my particular list. Man, we had a big drop off of people right there. Maybe some other shows going on, or maybe just people tired of me reading an article verbatim. I don't know where the case is, but it's okay. TASSAT pay. All right. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much. So, if anything, we're going to go ahead and kick it back into some of our particular coverage. About an hour and 11 minutes into the show. And what I want to show you guys is this whole thing that we originally were going to talk about in regards to Quant. Shout out to Greg LUNC. Here it is. And it says that digital pound could be an accelerator of innovation for the UK globally, according to Jana Pache, policy lead at the Digital Pound Foundation. As we know, Gilbert Everdian is also part of the Digital Pound Foundation. Here she is a few months back discussing APIs that are interoperable in open banking standards. Yeah, of course, there's a Quant connection. But if anything, understand how big APIs are for Quant, right? Like that's one of the big key things that stands out for them, right? Making quite a few payment APIs, banking APIs, you name it, be interoperable. So this is only 39 seconds. Listen to some of these particular quotes by her, and shout out to Greg LUNC, who I think put this on his podcast. All right, here we go. We'll be right back.
If you've got a digital pound or a digital euro, and you've also got commercial bank money, you need to ensure that not only are they all fungible, but there's also the technical interoperability between them so that you can move between one form and another. You can have that through APIs that are interoperable, and that requires some open banking standards. We need a mechanism for CBDCs or potentially privately issued stablecoins to interoperate if we want to efficiently transmit money from one jurisdiction to another. If you've got a digital pound.
All right. So shout out to Greg LUNC in regards to that particular information. On top of that, we have some info that we're also going to share again from Crypto Mike. He's been really busy, very passionate about what he's into, and we do appreciate that. I'm going to share that as well. Here we go. So this is going to kick into the XRP segment of things. Quant was just kind of real brief tonight. But yeah, check this out. It says breaking XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, Quant, IOTA, HBAR, et cetera, right? This is a YouTube short, and that's okay. But we're going to go ahead and play this. And I think I actually saw this earlier on my phone. But yeah, this is a good one. I will agree, Mike. Only 32 seconds. We'll be right back. Let me just double check I'm not muted. Yeah, I'm not. At least I don't think I am. Let me see where we're at. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this. We'll be right back.
Now, here's something very interesting, okay? MoneyGram is looking to shut down part of the Ripple trial. There's like information MoneyGram does not want slipping out of this trial. It's like, who are they? They're not even involved. Like Ripple and MoneyGram split a while ago, right? Or did they not? This is the interesting part. Now, I'm not getting all into all this right now, but this is Crypto Hulk. Watch my program. We're going to dig into this sucker and find out what's going on.
That caught my interest. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Here's the thing, Mike, just state real quick. Remember that thing you sent me earlier about Crypto Hulk and that big, long, like hour-long thing he had? I think it was for this deep dive. Was that what you were referring to? Like, was that a snippet of just that? All right. So, if anything, let's kick it back into the comments just for a brief bit, and then we'll get back into some of the other stuff. I want to welcome Watermelon Crypto Sugar High. Crypto High is in the house. Glad to have you here. Good evening, Max, CTM family. Thank you for being here. Just kind of see a few settings real quick where we're at. Give me just a second. And let's see here. Why in the world is the thumbnail not working for today? I just noticed that. That's kind of weird. Huh. And I even had a custom thumbnail. That's strange. Very, very weird. Oh, well. Sorry about that. I don't know why it did that. Strange. Maybe that's what's affecting some of the tenants, but I could have sworn I put the thumbnail in. Anyway, I'm just double checking some settings real quick. All right. So here we go. I'm going to answer this particular question. Please give me your thoughts on WantsPay WTK. Thanks very much. It's on my list for research. I am totally aware of it. I can't give you my proper thoughts on it because I haven't done a deep dive into it yet. It keeps getting brought up. But yes, I will have to do more of a proper deep dive into it. I don't have that particular answer yet. So I'm not going to BS you, but I mean, you're not the only one who keeps bringing that up. And so if anything, maybe that goes towards the top of the queue, if you will. But thank you, Ben Annabelle. I'd like to welcome you. Consider changing your avatar. Something speaks more about who you are and what you're about. Maybe you change it to the WantsPay avatar, which I believe is like a shopping cart. Anyway, guys, let's welcome Ben Annabelle. And yeah, if you do happen to change your avatar, something speaks more about who you are and what you're about. We have a very welcoming community. Any other questions, comments you have, feel free to drop it, whether you're new to crypto or not. We have just that, like I said, a welcoming community. All right. Update on Catch Cats. He says he's done driving. All right. And let's go to the last comment. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Let's kick it into some of this other info we have for you guys tonight. Let me see what else I got. I got one from Mr. Dowie. Hold on. Just real quick. All right, let me refresh that real quick. Hold on a second. Not to say that he was stating I had to share it, but I want to share it anyway. Shout out to Brian Dowie. It was something about what we were talking about earlier. All right, so it's regards to tacit pay. Remember, you just said it in the comments. Hold on a second. Why can't I blow this up more? That's weird. Well, that's all right. It says tacit pay gets cut off, but here we go.
Exceeds $1 trillion in transactions, and in January 2023 alone, they processed over $150 billion. If you dig deeper, you will find Ripple Technology and its partners are all up in, over, under, and through these digital payments. 6 U.S. banks already using tacit pay.
Pretty cool. All right. Like it also mentions, at Tacit, we're dedicating. One second. Dedicating to providing banks with the tools they need to compete in and win in increasingly digital economy. Tacit Pay exceeding 1 trillion in transactions, a major milestone and a testament to Tacit Group's ongoing innovation within the financial services industry. So that's cool to see that. Nice to get a brief, quick introduction to it. Thanks to Brian Dowie. On top of that, get off of this particular tab. It's weird how TikTok is sometimes. Like you can't zoom in on certain things. It's so weird. At least on my browser. Maybe that's just all it is. A little bit more from Crypto Mike. Let me see. He states in this particular one where he tagged me, he's like, peep this, yo. So, yeah, let me get into that. Try to see if there's any other way. So this comes from henrystewartpublications.com. Global adoption of ISO 222. Here's some of the key highlights. All right. So it says ISO 222 is a global success. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, we put so much emphasis on it. It says it's been adopted by market infrastructures in more than 70 countries for payments and security businesses, replacing domestic or legacy formats. By April 2023, if current announced deadlines are met, ISO 222 will support 79% of the volume and 87% of the value of high-value payments worldwide. It is or will shortly be the principal standard in instant payment schemes worldwide. On top of that, it is or will shortly be the principal standard in instant payment schemes worldwide. The growing adoption of ISO 222 in payment systems and other market infrastructures, combined with its inherent function and technical advantages, have triggered a demand for the same standard to be used basically in cross borders. Very, very cool. All right, a little bit more in regards to this. I want to show you guys this. And I think, if anything, maybe it was Mike that tagged me on this. I don't know, somebody did. This comes from ISO GOAT. It says India and Singapore connect payment systems. Listen, this goes live on February 22nd of 2023. So coming up here soon. The question is, what will be the settlement of the choice between countries for USD? XLM, others, or all of the above? Well, I think some of us will say not necessarily all of the above, but the ones that definitely stand out, at least for me. XRP, XLM, some of these other ones, right? Pretty interesting to see that in regards to India and Singapore connecting their payment systems. And if anything, Singapore definitely stands out with how crypto-friendly they are. All right. One more before we kick it back into the comments. Again, shout out to Crypto Mike. Yo, DPGmaximus. Peep these. All right. Let's peep it. But before we click on that particular link, let's check this out real quick right here. I think I need to blow that up a little bit more. Yeah, I do. All right. So it says the road ahead. In regards to this whole thing with ISO 222, it says instant payment combined with ISO 222 open messaging standard provides necessary framework to make payment fast, frictionless, and like what you see right here. On top of it, it states in this particular highlight, and that is, this is going to, with legacy payment rails such as ACH and Wire, will continue to exist for some time until all payment infrastructures and players have modernized their payment rails and migrated to ISO 222. Like we know the whole thing about banks will have to implement and so on. I mean, obviously we talk about it a lot, right? But look further down here. It says, as the world accelerates towards embedded finance, financial institutions will have to increasingly recognize the value of ecosystem partnerships to deliver innovative payment services as quickly as possible. Below is an API-based payment ecosystem representation. Let's blow that up. Let's see here. So you have, for instance, I know this is really huge right now, third-party services and fintechs. You know, you have payment merchant, utility payment, invoice payment, and so on. Actually, I guess I'll zoom out a little less. It's too big. But yeah, you have a nice breakdown on how this whole structure works: the payment rails and methods, third-party services, fintechs, payment channels, consumers. Notice how consumers is all the way towards the bottom, but you also have that corporate connection. But it's a nice breakdown on how the API-based payment ecosystem works. We're always picturing certain ecosystems of crypto, right? Like XDC's ecosystem. I mean, you know, Luna Classic, what they're trying to build. I mean, it's just ecosystem, period, right? Like you have a broader perspective of how that works. Well, how about, like it shows right here, from the API-based payment ecosystem? You know, quite a bit that's here. Retailers, corporate, you know, point of sale, web-based, mobile, teller, ATM, just all of it. All makes sense, but it's all tied into this. All right. Thank you to Crypto Mike. There's a little bit more on this particular one. Let me get to the next particular page. Hold on a second. So there's this also. I'll blow that up as well because it's just too small. All right. So it states, following are the leading payments service provider payment hubs as per Business Wire research. Someone gets chopped off, but this comes from itminetree.com. And if anything, look at this. It says you have, that's part of this market and vendor solutions overview. IBM, right? IBM's tied into quite a few different things. This is financial transaction manager. So it's interesting to see that particular statement. You know, it's like some people feel as though that there's one thing to be a partner with Hedera, be a partner with Quant, be a partner with some of these other big players, right? With IBM. But when you see the statement that their partnership, I guess you could say, is from a financial transaction management point of view, it's worth noting. Finastra, Fusion Global Pay Plus, and then look at this, Volante Technologies, Volpay. I don't know. Some of you guys might know about this stuff. Some of you don't. It's okay. Let's go further into this, but in a moment, we will get back into the comments because I just need to do that. We have some stellar info for you guys here tonight. But I want to welcome a few more people. Isn't Wants paying any exchange? That I don't know. I need to take more of a deeper dive into that, but I know this is getting brought up quite a bit. Open Mind states, do you think Hester Pierce will replace Gary Gensler when he gets fired from the SEC? I don't know. You know, that's been brought up lately. You know, I don't know, man. I mean, I believe I saw it on another particular live stream. I don't know if it was Lift Capital or, yeah, I don't know if LC mentioned this, but somebody, I can't remember who it was worried that it's just going to be like, as the saying goes, you know, chopping off the head and replacing it with another. But yeah, that's a good question. All right. Ben states, thanks everyone. You're very welcome. John Francis, welcome back. They are going to shut exchanges down here in the States. Oh, if anything, then we'll have to take it somewhere else. John Francis says, hey, Max. Hey, good to have you here. Selmo Fudd's here. Welcome, Selmo Fudd. The Queen Perseverance is here. Waddy's wife, good evening. Stopping by to say hello. Well, thank you very much, Queen Perseverance. Really appreciate you. And keep doing what you're doing. You're very passionate about what you talk about. Sometimes I'm able to drop into your live streams, believe it or not. You might not see me comment, but it's because I'm driving. And but yeah, sometimes I do tune into your shows and listen to what you got to say and so on. So as the saying goes from, was it Flashdance? Take your passion and make it happen. There you go. But yeah, thanks for being here. And let's see. Selmo, you down with XRP? You know he's going to say, you know me. Yep. There we go. All right. Yeah, you're very welcome, Sonya. No problem. I'm a big fan of you and Wadi. How about that? Think you guys are good people. You're doing a good thing. Keep up the good work, and we're all going to make it. You know, it takes a lot of hard work. You know, it's all part of the grind. But yeah, I'm glad that, you know, Wadi's very passionate about what he brings to the table for crypto and so on. You're very passionate with what you bring, you know, as far as, you know, like the whole thing of having a good state of mind, and you bring great perspective about certain things and so on. So, yeah, sorry if I'm not the guy who ends up in, you know, commenting. There's been a few times I wanted to comment, but it's like, there's no way I'm texting and driving. But yeah, I do listen to your show. I want you to know that. But anyway, yeah, check out your show, guys, if you haven't checked it out already. I think I've seen Tim Shea in there a few times too. But anyway, yeah, I mean, mental health is really something else. I mean, I myself, I mean, I'm not that I have mental problems or anything like that, but I think everybody at some point, like, you know, maybe has gone through like depression, you know, and sometimes it could really affect you on your day-to-day lives. We all need to have good mental health. Think about all the problems in the country. A lot of it, the root cause is just mental health. So I'm glad that you're trying to bring awareness to that and a better perspective and so on. So you do talk very passionately about that, and keep up the good work. You know, if that's something that you believe in, again, just, I know it's part of a grind, but just keep it up. Thanks for being here. All right. Let's see where, I didn't mean to skip that. They will shut down exchanges and it will all go to Wall Street, and that would be horrible. But that could be the reality. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. About an hour and a half into the show, we happen to have, believe it or not, some stellar news. It's just brief. Let's face it. When it comes to stellar, any news is better than no news. All right. So shout out to this particular guy who is Sammy. And he is an anime gamer blockchain dev. And looks like he's like an XLM maxi. That's cool. Richard Common Sense Crypto follow him, that's cool in itself. He doesn't have a lot of followers, but I mean, I like to see other content creators such as myself and so on help guys grow. So I too am going to give Sammy a follow. And Sammy, if you happen to watch this later on, thank you for providing this. All right, this one is 2 minutes. It's another particular video from the Stellar Foundation. We have covered this in regards to the new aid initiative, but check out this particular video. I don't know if you've seen it. Doesn't matter, but it is a little bit more new, and it's pretty cool to see this. So 2 minutes, and then we'll be right back.
Humanitarian aid serves as a lifeline to over 100 million displaced people in crisis around the world. Unfortunately, distributing aid to displaced people at scale can be a challenge due to high costs, damaged infrastructure, fraud, and a lack of transparency to ensure aid goes to those who need it. Now, with Stellar Aid Assist, relief organizations can use a first-of-its-kind blockchain solution to deliver aid instantly, transparently, and globally. Stellar Aid Assist leverages the power of Stellar, a proven, decentralized, and open blockchain network to get money into the hands of those who need it quickly and at a low cost. It's fast to deploy and can scale easily to meet a moment of crisis. Here's how it works. Your relief organization can use Stellar Aid Assist's innovative bulk disbursement tool to deliver aid directly to your own pre-approved lists of recipients in the form of digital currencies, like Circle's USD coin, USDC, a fully reserved dollar digital currency. Recipients can then access their aid directly from their phones using participating digital wallet applications without needing a bank account. Finally, they can choose to hold their digital assets as a safeguard against local currency devaluation, or exchange them for physical cash at one of MoneyGram's hundreds of thousands of participating locations around the world. With Stellar Aid Assist, relief organizations can feel confident their aid will be delivered transparently over the blockchain, instantly at scale, and at a low cost. This means your aid recipients can access their relief funds digitally regardless of where they are, in stable currencies like digital US dollars, all without a bank card or account required. Stellar Aid Assist makes aid accessible for all and enables equitable access to aid. Learn how Stellar can empower your organization or the organization you donate to deliver the future of aid today. Visit stellar.org/aidassist.
All right, I want to state this real quick, and that is, I mentioned it quite a few times that at some point I feel as though if I had to pick one particular cryptocurrency that would be the cryptocurrency of the world, right? For especially retail, the average you and me type of person, just pick one. It's definitely Stellar. You heard about, just in that particular video, getting this out to everyone, having access. So everyone has just that, the access to this and so on. The new aid initiative is already been going on for a while. It first really stood out for the country of Ukraine, and of course we covered that. But something to be said about XLM. I see even people complaining, not necessarily you guys, but I see it like, for instance, on CMC. You see comments and so on. See on other videos. I'm gonna sell my XLM. The price is not doing anything. It's just like some of these people you clearly could tell have not done any research. They're either new to crypto, and there's nothing bad about being new to crypto, right? We're all new to it at some point, but it's kind of like a reiteration of you're not understanding that you are so close to the finish line where all these particular ones are going to take off. I should say all of these. I mean, but again, the particular ones, right? The ISOs. XLM is definitely at the top of the pack when it comes to just that. I think, they're towards the cream of the crop. They're literally my number 3. Some people have them as like their number 2. Just we're all a little bit different in regards to, which ones are our number 1s, number 2s, and so on. But for me, consistently, XLM is my number 3. Combine that with what we're going to see in March. I mean, come on. If you've been watching the show, you have a broader idea of, wow, you know what? It's one thing to see particular dates mentioned, and it's another thing to see an actual playbook. I mean, come on, that was in a PDF for the central banking system of the world, the Target 2 systems. For many, many months, we've been giving everybody an outline of how all this stuff is coming together. So I think it's way beyond just, buy the rumor, sell the news at this point. It's literally, implement the mandate. I don't know. I was going to say sell the crypto, but I mean, in reality, like Brian or whoever mentioned earlier, these institutions already own a lot of it behind the scenes. And man, I mean, this is going to be something else when it goes live. It's amazing to see the terminology basically listed on that particular playbook and so on. Anyway, I'm going to kick it back into the comments. We do have some more coverage for you guys. We don't have any more Stellar, unfortunately. Stellar is one of those things in which you really got to dig deep to get new news, to say the least. The next segment coming up is XDC. We got quite the info tonight in regards to XDC coverage. So if that's your thing and you're like, man, I hope he talks about XDC, or you're not going to want to miss it, stay tuned. I'm just going to welcome a few more people in the comments. Thank you. I tried talking from experience. Yeah, you're very welcome. No problem. Shout out to Waddy's wife. Good person. All right. John Francis, the big banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, etc., will control the ISOs. Yeah, I feel so. That could very well be the case, but we'll see how that works out. Brian Dowie, Ripple lawsuit is taking over 2 years for a reason. Stall tactics till they can hand it off to Wall Street. Gambling and weed was legal in Toronto until they could find a way to tax it. That's a great point. And even here, right? Like, think of all the different states that weren't for it until they could find out, yeah, you know what? This makes sense. We should tax it and so on. They will be so-called federal custodians. Thanks, Tim, for doing that. Yeah, check out Sonia's channel. Let me see if I can actually pull it up as well. I don't have the shortcut for that. But thank you for sharing that. Excuse me. All right. John Francis states, Brian, yeah, exactly, Brian. The SEC XRP lawsuit is a joke, just buying time because they were behind the 8 ball. Queen has just subbed. Yeah, I think I'm subscribed to her on my MaximusCrypto, and also my DPGmaximus, my gaming one, and then also here just this one, our default one for CTN. So yeah, so you got 3 subs from CTN. All right, and then along, of course, with all the other CTN fam. I mean, let's not dismiss that. Coochie Boy, if I didn't have a chance to welcome you, I'd like to welcome you, man. Good to see you. I also want to state this. It says, I am an XLM Maximus. I hope it flourishes. All right. Well, very cool. Very cool. It will flourish, man. I'll state that. It's just being patient, just like everybody else who is finally waiting to the finish line when it comes to, Ripple's XRP. They're definitely going to be part of that. It is going to flourish. I know I have to say not financial advice, but I mean, that's just the way I personally believe it. I mean, all these ones I'm personally invested into as well. Like the ones that are going to start the whole thing. There's some other cryptos that I still need to get and get a position. But like for instance, I want to get Cypherium. I'm not into it yet, but I recognize the potential. Some other ones as well. All right, Tim Shea, yes, they have been stalling with XRP when they should just use it. It's great technology. Yep, very good point. Brian Dowie states it's illegal if they can't take money off of us. All right. John, XLM will be huge. All right, Asuka 129. Let me check out your avatar. It looks pretty cool. Let's see that. Yeah, very nice. If I could only buy one token on your stream, which one would you recommend? Would it be Quant holding for long term? Well, if you're holding the 2030, I would have to go with Quant. And because you said specifically one token. So Gilbert Verdi and Quant. That's a great question, by the way. Not financial advice, but Gilbert Verdi and Quant, he hasn't even been asked. He's the CEO of Quant, how much Quant should we hold? And he basically says everyone should hold at least one Quant. Now, why would he mention that? If he felt as though the thing was only going to go to like $1,000 and so on, then that wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a big deal to some people, but I mean, come on, he only mentions one Quant. When you hear people state, and I even stated, like, I feel as though that Quant could very well become the first $1 million coin by 2030. Some people say, don't state that. You shouldn't do that. I should cancel myself. I shouldn't have freedom of thought because I should worry what other people think of me. My God. So anyway, no, I'm not going to cancel myself out. I'm going to stick with those. I'm going to stick to my guns, especially with cancel culture. But realistically speaking, I feel as though it could really reach these particular ones. So if you state you're holding it long term and you're really, really going to hold it long term, like, let's face it, that's 7 years from now, it could very well reach that. But heck, how about this? If you decided that you're not just going to hold one actual token, obviously, and you're looking to DCA over time, or maybe you recognize, man, technically speaking, this coin, even though it's expensive, from a broader point of view, it's on sale. All right. I would have to go with Quant if I had to pick one. But as far as it not being necessarily so much long term, and the flip of the switch coming here soon, then yes, you definitely have to look into XRP, XLM, some of these other ones, especially those two as well. So it's all about having a diversified portfolio. As the saying goes, not all your eggs in one basket, and so on. So very good question, and I appreciate that. But yeah, Asuka 129, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here before. That's a very cool looking avatar. And guys, let's welcome Asuka 129. We hope to see more of you here at CTN. Appreciate the question, and hope you have a great night, or having a great night, I should say. John Francis, I used to own Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin, but I'm all in XLM since 2021. Nice. Yeah, I used to have a little bit of Bitcoin from 2016, and then I held it. I mean, basically, I think I bought like $40 or $50 worth. It doesn't sound like much, right? But then in 2021, it was just like that is now worth over $200 or something like that. And so I basically just swapped it to Shiba Inu. But I don't really look at that as being like, oh man, I was super into crypto in 2016, because I wasn't. I got really into crypto at the beginning of 2021. So my particular altcoin journey, if you will, started a little over 2 years ago. And then of course, I've grown just like a lot of you guys have grown. You've grown from meme coins to some of these utility ones. And of course, some of us are still in meme coins and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you see opportunity there, by all means, recognize opportunity. Like, shout out to you guys who bought into Floki back in, was it summer 2021, and you held it for all that time. You basically saw like 3, maybe 4 zeros burn, something like that. That's incredible. All right. Brian Dowie states XLM very underrated and nobody talks about it. We talk about it, but it's challenging to get some real hot, juicy news for them because like Sean pointed out, they are non-profit. So if you're non-profit, you're not going to necessarily spend a lot of money on marketing. So how does that work? Well, as a result, community-driven news, and the community has to get very creative. Even myself, I have to get very creative. I have to if they do like a new podcast, like Danelle Dixon does like a podcast every once in a while. She doesn't post key highlights that would be something I have to do. So like I'll watch like an hour and a half of it, and I'll say, all right, we haven't had any particular news in a while. I have to chop this up and get the highlights, but I don't mind. But if it's just something in which she's just reiterating what we know, then I'm like, okay, I can't really do much with that. But it's okay though. You know, it's again supply and demand. All right, XLM will take off when the lawsuit is over. They always run together. That's a very great point, and that is very, very true. All right, Cash Cats, you should hold as much as you can. Very true. Cody Core states maximum max. Good to see you, Cody. Appreciate you. And Asuka Quant is fire. Yes, it is. Is Link the poor man's Quant? Never thought it. Ever see that analogy? I wouldn't bash. I don't know. I never heard somebody say that. But in reality, is that true? I don't know. I don't know if we throw that in the same category. I mean, I know some people want to, but Link brings his own element to the table, and they're not at scale of Quant. I guess I would use that analogy if I felt as though Link was a true competitor to Quant with like full interoperability, but that is not really the case. You know what I mean? Some people are saying, no, that is the case. But again, you're comparing one that's blockchain agnostic with Quant's overledger to one that clearly, you know what I mean? There's too many differences. But I guess somebody could say that. You could say that. I don't know if I'll say that, but I do like that statement. It's kind of funny. All right. Coochie Boy put 5 on everything, like the loonies. Let's put 5 on it. All right, Coochie Boy, because you never know who will be the next CEO. Yes, especially with a lovely Shiba Inu dog named Floki with glasses. All right, crypto Floki tag for the Floki holders bullish. Oh shoot, you tagged me again. All right, hold on a second. I didn't mean that in a bad way. Let me see. So you tagged me again. See, Mike and I play virtual tag. You know, kids used to play tag back in the playgrounds. Mike and I play tag, virtually speaking, over the metaverse. Not really, but over crypto Twitter. So tag, I'm in. All right, let's pull that up for just a brief moment. I want to welcome Linois real quick. Good to see you, Linois. And let me see. Got to read a few more comments, Mike, real quick, and we'll get into it. I just want to get caught up. Going to sound odd, but I found out about Volt from this stream. Not really a meme kind of guy, but this one has potential. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, we point out that we feel as though it's like one of the last great meme tokens. I have been taking more of a deeper dive, believe it or not, listening to the community when it comes to BRL, Bull Run Life. I think there's something to be said there. With that, I did do more research. And if anything, it's very appealing when it comes to the whole, you know, yeah, it's deflationary, but there's not that much of a supply. And that right there, I was like, wow, this is kind of going against the grain. This is appealing. So don't think I have been looking more into BRL. So far, I'm pretty impressed with it. You guys know me. I'm not like the biggest guy on like memes and so on, but there's something to be said about what's his name, Steve of Rocket Crypto, you know, what he did with SHIB. I mean, you know, a lot of success there. Let's face it, even what he did with Saitama before things kind of went downhill. But the guy has great experience and so on. This whole thing with BRL, Bull Run Life, yeah, it might be it might be like the first meme related coin / token I might get into. Not financial advice, but I mean, there's something to be said about not having a big, huge supply. I like the idea of scarcity with meme tokens. Really? That in itself was very appealing. So I'm looking more and more into it. I have done a decent amount of research, but I'm looking to do more. But yeah, there's nothing odd about that. I mean, that's fine. You know, a lot of times some people, they look at our channel and they're like, oh, you guys are anti-meme. I'm not anti-meme. If anything, it's just, I think there might be some good standout ones. My thing is, if you want to say I'm anti anything, I'm anti, you know, rug pulls, and you know, I'm anti garbage tokens. I mean, who wouldn't be? But if something that does have is solid, it's going to stay around. Obviously, Floki stood around. Then, you know, shout out to you guys who recognize that. All right, Floki's only about 2 years old. Can't wait till he grows up. Yeah, very cool. Great to see you as usual, Linois. Any word on ALBT? Don't worry, Mike. I'm going to get to it. No word on ALBT yet. Tim Shea did post the thing about there was Uphold. Uphold did I guess you could say a Twitter space with the ALBT guys. That was the last word, but there is no. I'm going to double check it right now, but there is no official word yet on V2. And if there was, I would have definitely mentioned that right at the beginning of the show and done it recorded. I'm going to double check it. Nope, nothing yet. Hold on a second. Yeah, the last one was the whole thing about Uphold. So that's okay. All right. I'm going to get right into this right here, and then I'm going to kick it into what Mike shared with us. Linois said, I just want to say, hey, I have to get back to work. You guys have an amazing night. Yeah, well, you too, man. Thanks, Linois. Always good to see you, man. I'm going to highlight that. Let's kick it into what Crypto Mike has to share with us tonight. Well, Max, you already did. Well, we're just going to share some more. Kind of like Billy Mays. But wait, there's more. Remember Billy Mays? I'm sure you remember Billy Mays. Little known fact, Billy Mays passed away the very same day Michael Jackson passed away. I think it was in late June of 2009. All I know is I was driving out to LA and actually out to Malibu, ironically. And when I was like, I just crossed the border from Arizona into California, and I heard on the radio about the passing of Michael Jackson. But at the same time, yeah, Billy Mays passed away the same day. Anyway, all right. So it says, Max, the dates of these three leaders all the same. What? All right, let's blow it up. So it says important Floki Vikings Binance listed SHIB on the same day trading started on KuCoin, May 10th in 2021. History repeats itself. Will Floki go live tomorrow on KuCoin and Binance at the same time? It happened with SHIB. Like and share to support this thesis. Ooh. Oh man, maybe I have to FOMO then. I might actually FOMO if that's the case. I hardly ever FOMO into anything, but I might have to FOMO. Because that's big. That is big because if anything, or maybe I'll wait for a pullback. Yeah, I might wait for a pullback with this. And that's right around my birthday. My birthday's on May 12th. My grandma's birthday is on May 10th. God, I miss my grandma. I don't know if you guys had grandmas that you were close with, but man, I really, really miss my grandma. I miss my mom too, but both of them, miss them so much. But yeah, my grandma's birthday was on May 10th. So maybe that'll be a little early birthday present for myself, just to buy some Floki. Oh my God, Max is finally buying meme coins again. Well, I recognize opportunity. All right, so here's the thing. Trading 7 o'clock on May 10th, 2021 UTC, and that's consistent. Well, I have some Floki news, and we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, that is interesting. That is way interesting. Thanks for that, Crypto Mike. Doing it big. All right. Let me go further down. We got Floki only on 23 exchanges. We got an update in regards to that. I took Elon's post as Twitter payments. Huge upside, yes. You took Elon's post as Twitter payments platform, Floki/Twitter. Okay, that in itself is huge. Then I mean that would mean that it would have utility, right? I'm not missing. I'm on board, right? I'm not missing the boat. Floki is basically everything SHIB's trying to be already. My God, so yeah, I need to kind of get on board with this. But that's great to hear about the listing. If Floki does half the run of Doge, more millionaires will be made. My God. You guys aren't giving me financial advice, but it sounds pretty crazy. I mean, as you guys know, I mean, I did well with SHIB. I still have over 1 billion of those tokens, so I don't know if I go all in on Floki, but I'll at least try to get a position of it. Joey Patrick Hisola. Greetings, bro, from the Philippines. Well, salamat po. Glad to have you here, you know. All right, let's see here. Well, me, myself, and I just got here, was kicking some butt on COD. Oh, yeah, which one? Was it the new NW2? I haven't even had a chance to try out the new NW2. because I don't know. My computer is decent, but I like to have all the bells and whistles and make it look super nice. And I don't know. Yeah. I'll tell you this much. When we get this utility run, maybe I eventually finally celebrate a little bit and get a really bad, you know what, PC. Throw in a 4090 RTX with a, I don't know, at least 32 gigs of RAM, DDR5, you know, Intel i9 Extreme processor. Wouldn't be too shabby. Probably had to get that RTX 4090 liquid cooled though, because it'd just be too hot. All right. You could get 1 million tokens for less than $100. Yeah, I get that. My thing is though, I want to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? So if I was going to do that, I'd probably, I don't know, probably spend like maybe a couple grand, maybe more. All right. Sean Francis, hey Joey, my second Adobe is Northern Luzon, Philippines. Cool. Very cool. Oh, you're from Mindanao. You know what? My mom was from Mindanao. She that's where she grew up, basically. What's it called? Misamis Oriental. I'm sure you're aware of that particular area. But yeah, she grew up not too far from that area. All right. HBAR is starting to pump. That's cool. I should say it's cool, but I also feel like I need more HBAR. I mean, let's face it. Are we really satisfied with everything we have? I don't think so. I mean, you know, there's some of you guys like, oh, I have over 100 quant, and some of those guys are like, I'm still not satisfied with it. Or there might be one guy's like, yeah, man, I got like 50,000 or 100,000 XRP. They're still not satisfied with it. Or I've seen some guys, they're like, yeah, man, I have 20,000 XLM. I'm not satisfied with that. Or how about this? He's not here tonight, but shout out to Salamander, the XDC commander, right? Over 1 million XDCs. Is he satisfied with his XDC? I don't know. PS5, I played all of the COD. Nice. Very nice. I'll tell you this. My favorite Call of Duty games, my all-time favorite Call of Duty game was Call of Duty 2, believe it or not. Then Call of Duty 1, the original. Then United Offensive, Call of Duty World at War. Those were my favorites. Call of Duty 4 wasn't bad. I know we did a lot of modding for it and so on. But yeah, those are some of my favorite ones. All right. Coochie Boy states, remember Floki is Elon's dog and now the CEO, so he can talk about him forever. That's a good point. I guess that's the way crypto looks at it. Does anyone know where to store IOTA and GBEX? Newly purchased decent wallet is useless. I don't know about that because here's the thing. I don't have IOTA yet. So that's part of, I mean, I know we cover quite a few things. Anyway, can answer that. Here's another thing I wanted to bring up. Somebody asked this on the recorded. Give me just a second. This is in regards to XDC, and we'll kick it back into the news here in a bit. I want to show you guys a particular one that I saw in regards to all this. Hold on a second. I think it was today's like XDC video, to be honest. All right. Hold on. Oh man. Maybe somebody else put this on a different. All right. So basically the guy said that there's an issue when it came to taking XDC and putting it on Ledger. He said specifically you have to create a manual folder to make that happen. Do you guys know of any other way in which you can just have it straight up, work like anything else, right? Without having to make like a manual folder and so on. I would love to give that guy a particular update. Maybe I could just Google it, but I was just thinking since a lot of you guys use these particular cold storages and so on that you would have the answer. All right. Going further down, Blackwood, Decent supports GBEX. Okay. Original MW2 was the best. Yeah, but the only thing I hated was they got rid of dedicated server support on the PC, and they took away mod tools and all that stuff with the introduction of IWNet. That was the downfall for PC gaming, and PC gaming is what got Call of Duty on the map, because it used to be a PC exclusive. They absolutely slapped the PC gaming community, and it has never been the same since. Oh yeah, I used to play the crap out of Battlefield 1942. Made a really cool mod for that as well. We used to have a 24/7 Battlefield 1942 server. We modified it to 128 players. And on top of that, we gave support so you could fly Russian light bombers and fighters, which was kind of cool. And then on the aircraft carriers, instead of taking off with like the normal American planes and all that, you can even mix in some of the other ones. It was interesting. It was a very popular server for a while, but as you know, that game's pretty old. All right. Nano X Ledger is a good wallet. You have Nano X. Problem is it doesn't support everything. Yeah, that's what I heard. Having issues with Nano X and HBAR, get errors. Yikes. All right. I'm going to go ahead and kick it back into our news coverage. It is XDC as promised. And I want to show you guys this right now. Give me a second. So this is pretty big in regards to XDC. We have covered this quite a bit of time in the past when it comes to this whole thing of prime numbers. I think at least once or twice I did record a video. This is a follow-up in regards to that. So if you haven't seen that particular recorded video, check out our videos section. We're all recorded. But check it out. This comes straight from XDC News. It says, in this blog post, we will explore the intersection of NFTs, blockchain technology, and digital art ownership with prime numbers NFT. Get ready to explore the future of digital art ownership. Introduction to prime numbers NFT. I, of course, did a little bit of a brief introduction, but I want to show you guys this because this was actually published today on February 16th. Pretty cool stuff. So here it is. It comes straight from their Medium. And like I said, it's an 8-minute read, but, for the most part, I'm going to try to, condense it a little bit. So, yeah, if you haven't heard, these particular ones from Prime Numbers are the latest trend in digital art ownership and blockchain technology built on what? XDC. How cool is that? But what exactly are these NFTs and how they work? Well, let's get into that. So, if anything, here's the intro to Prime Numbers. And, it's something that's trending in regards to digital art ownership and blockchain technology. But how do they work, right? Specifically. Well, we're going to get into that. So Prime Numbers is an ecosystem composed of different DeFi and NFT protocols that generate revenue for its community on the XDC blockchain. That itself sounds really cool, right? Like, I don't know about you, but, if I was going to get into NFTs, I would want one to be kind of utility based because to me, that just sounds cool in itself. But Prime Numbers NFT is a new way to purchase, store, and trade digital assets securely on the XDC network blockchain. Prime Numbers NFT allows users to securely store their digital assets in an immutable, secure, and transparent environment with no middleman required. That's cool in itself. That makes it like, it makes you feel like, hey, isn't that what DeFi is supposed to be all about, right? Taking out the centralized authority. Right, exactly. So it says, with access to a wide range of digital assets, users can purchase, store, and trade these assets quickly and efficiently without worrying about the security or transparency issues. With Prime Numbers NFTs, this is going to allow users to interact with digital assets using XDC as well as other particular cryptocurrencies. With the help of XDC-powered technology, Prime Numbers NFT provides a safe and reliable way to store, purchase, and trade digital assets with ease. All right, now if you want to know some of the specifics, here it is. Each digital asset is represented in a unique non-fungible token, aka NFT, that is stored in a user's personal wallet and can be easily exchanged for another token or assets without the need for an intermediary, aka a middleman, right? Meanwhile, the Prime Numbers NFT offers digital asset owners an efficient way to securely store and exchange their assets using the XDC protocol. So if anything, it's recognizing the particular utility here, and then again, keeping it on the native base of XDC. So each token is unique. There are NFTs that are stored securely in the user's wallet and can be easily exchanged for other tokens or assets without the need, listen to this, for any intermediaries, again, middlemen. So this is, of course, innovative, like it mentions. If you're wondering about the mission of this, like, what's the quick gist of what they're trying to accomplish. Their mission is to provide users with a secure and easy to use platform for not only creating, but buying and selling digital art in a decentralized manner. That's the key thing here. Buy art, sell it, no middle man. Will this stand out in DeFi for NFTs? Well, that looks to be the case, right? So it states, with its cutting-edge technology, Primeport NFT Marketplace offers artists and collectors the opportunity to create unique digital art pieces that can be verified as authentic via the blockchain technology and also can be secure stored on the XDC network blockchain. By bringing together the power of NFTs, blockchain, and digital art ownership, Prime Numbers NFT is creating an innovative platform for or I should say that can basically revolutionize the future of digital art. Now, I know when it comes to some of this, some people say all these ones state that they can revolutionize, whatever. But you know what? I think this very well could be the case with Prime Numbers and that XDC connection. Why? Well, here is the reason. So by leveraging blockchain technology, like it says, and digital asset ownership, Prime Numbers NFT provides users with an entirely new way to engage with and collect digital art assets. And again, a little bit more reiteration of the key thing here. So Prime Numbers users can mint non-fungible tokens of digital art assets and have ownership of these particular assets. On top of that, NFTs are a special type of asset that are not interchangeable like cryptocurrencies and other digital assets. Prime Numbers allows users to own a piece of art that is registered on the blockchain and is verifiable as authentic and unique. So, let's face it, right? Like, there's one thing about various different blockchain projects, right? Like Quant, right? It's got, the whole thing with a very unique circulating supply. And if anything, that creates a supply and demand because it's becoming more and more scarce. And especially when you have over 90% of it like in circulation and things like that, right? We understand the significance of that. But what about this in regards to NFTs? Think about it for a second. So, if you are able to have something with Prime Numbers that's going to allow you to own a piece of digital art that's registered on the blockchain and is verifiable, but listen to this, authentic and what unique, that in itself says demand. At least it does to me, right? And if more and more people come to this platform, they'll understand that it's authentic and unique. And that in itself could really stand out. I think this is huge for XDC because, like it says, it opens up new possibilities for collectors to diversify their portfolios with digital art assets, which are still relatively new to the market. But if you're able to create anything unique, especially when it comes to the NFT platform, I think it's big. And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to report this to you guys. On top of that, I do want to mention this. Did you know that you can also earn rewards? They have a staking system for these NFTs. You will be able to stake. States you will need to stake your XDC. This does not happen in ordinary way. However, when you stake at the Prime Numbers ecosystem, they will stake inside the NFTs. This means your stake tokens will give an intrinsic value to the NFT and can be traded along with the NFT on any marketplace as a packaged deal. So they're not going to penalize you if you move it somewhere else, right? So for one, they're cutting out the middleman, and they're also saying with open arms, hey, you want to take this to a different platform? No problem, right? The tokens can be recovered from the NFT by empty NFT or burn to redeem. That's cool in itself. When we stake our tokens in the NFT, they will gradually level up. On top of that, you'll be able to stake as much as you want until the max limit. Listen to that. 100,000 XDC per NFT. That's really, really cool. not the final amount, still in development. Your share depends on the multiplier of your NFT, which is based on both its level and added multiplier, its rarity-based multiplier. The higher your level and the more rarity you have, the more reward you get. Think about the key words mentioned here: rarity, rarity, rarity. To me, that spells demand, demand, demand. How could you not recognize the opportunity here? These NFTs, upon receiving the tokens, will level up from this. The staking airdrop will be factored in based on the amount of XDC inside the NFT. And of course, they wrap things up with telling you like how powerful this is. I honestly think this is really, really big for XDC. It was really good to, bring this to you guys as a particular update and so on. Glad to be able to do so. I'm going to kick it back into the comments. Let me know what you think in regards to this. You think this is real big for XDC, in regards to what they bring to, things, or I should say what they bring to the space for NFTs? I think it is. So if anything, let's go ahead and kick it back into the comments. And please hit the like if you haven't done so already, especially if you just came in. Mr. Shagans in the house. He says, good morning from Scotland. Good to see you, Mr. Shagans. And let's see here. I will state this much. I'm not going to say it, but every time I see Mr. Shagans come in here, I literally think of one of my all-time favorite movies starring Leslie Nielsen. And if anything, this is that part where the chief, Frank Drebin's police chief, that woman, she was like, assault with a concrete. Yeah. Anyway, if you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. That line is just hilarious. All right. From The Naked Gun, the first one. The first one was the best one. Yes, featuring O.J. Simpson. Anyway, Brian Elliott, I think HBAR was giving people trouble, long wait time for sending to wallets from exchanges. Remember the other day, Grizzly Bear Greg had that problem, remember? All right. Blackwood, I'm trying to get all my crypto off exchange before Gary and Liz slather each other in mayo and start making love in celebration of banning the U.S. from, oh, God. Yeah, that would be crazy. To have HBAR on Nano X, you have to have the wallet, HBAR wallet. It is off X. All right. Calvin, it's been a good 30 days for crypto. I'll take it. Cool. GS, have it installed, set up, but no success. When you put HBAR app on the X, did you set up the wallet through the X? All right. Let me go further down. John Francis, you can always figure something out on future to buy, sell, or keep your private keys. Indeed. You need Hedera HBAR wallet. After creating wallet, there's an option to connect your Ledger wallet to manage transfers. Ledger wallet doesn't hold HBAR directly. Calvin states, hey, Tim and Brian, this stuff is gaining traction once again. Layer 1s, 2s, and institutions will see. Yeah. All right. Hello to Zamir Khan. Welcome back. Nice vehicle you got there. And GS says, might be an issue with the exchange. All right. So let me go ahead and highlight that. So we did talk about the whole thing with prime numbers, which is good. And I'm actually going to save that particular image because I like that one. Prime numbers. All right. I want to pull up another particular one. So here we go. Remember we talked about the whole thing about Floki earlier? Well, if you saw the recorded content I came up with, I think this morning, or maybe it was yesterday morning, I can't remember. There was this whole thing in regards to the LCX partnership, right? There was big news about the announcement of the LCX partnership with Polygon, right? We reported on that. At the same time, we also reported on the Floki listing on LCX, right? So say what you want. That was pretty big. I know we're talking about the whole thing with Binance, and that could be huge. Don't get me wrong, that would be massive. But I like the idea that LCX already recognizes that, hey, what Elon Musk mentions is big in itself. So Floki, and I, of course, did this in the recorded video as well, I'm bringing it to you live, is listed on the LCX Liechtenstein exchange. You could trade Floki in 3 pairings. You have Floki / LCX, Floki / USDC Circle, and you have Floki / ETH. And yeah, there it is. Not too shabby. Thought I'd report on that. On top of that, we have some Hedera HBAR news. And check this out. It says, when the market isn't paying attention, you learn to dollar cost average and stack for future bull markets. The whales are accumulating. They very, very, they are big time. This even made it to mainstream news, CNBC, right? Look at this. Let's blow it up. Yeah, comparing cryptos, average fees, Bitcoin, $22, Ethereum, $19.50, Hedera's HBAR, the price of a Luna Classic token for a fee. Pretty cool. On top of that, the TPS, transactions per second. Look at this. Bitcoin. Oh, wow. 3+. Like, are you kidding? Like, I mean, talk about the story of the tortoise in the air, but like, obviously the tortoise is not going to win this one, right? Like, it's just like a snail pace. Ethereum is not even that much better than Bitcoin when it comes to transaction speed. Hedera's HBAR, 10,000 plus. Some people stated that of the ISOs, this one's the fastest one, right? On top of that, look at this. Comparing cryptos, energy use / transaction. Bitcoin, 885 plus kilowatts per hour. Ethereum, 102 plus kilowatts per hour. Hedera's HBAR, 0.00017. So 0.00017 kilowatts per hour, like hardly anything. This is why Hedera is referred to as the greenest of blockchain. I mean, technically it's not blockchain, it's hash graph, right? But, of the mix. And then on top of that, how about this, guys? Look at all those amazing partnerships. We've already seen it, but let's look at it again. Because sometimes you do need to look at it again. Look at that. Boeing. My friend works for Boeing. You have some of these other big ones. Obviously, Google. Who doesn't know about Google unless you've been living under a rock for the last 30 years? IBM. LG. I mean, pretty massive. All right. We have a little bit more news for you guys. We're going to kick it into Casper. Let me go ahead and stop the share for you to hear this. This is the only segment we have for Casper of the night, but this was pretty good. So it states right here, and shout out to this particular person, the X Frontier. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and follow him. It states Casper 2.0 will bring unified accounts and contracts. An interesting feature unique to Casper is that contracts will be able to stake the network and pay for transactions. An intuitive UX is key for mass adoption. Could a subscription model bring more demand for the Casper token? Thoughts? Well, I think so. And if anything, we've been covering Casper for a while now because it just gets more and more interesting. Literally, like I don't know about daily, but they've been killing it with some particular news coverage. Let's face it, community-driven news coverage, in which they're really, really starting to stand out. And at these particular prices, like, I'm going to get in Casper. I'm still waiting for like a decent pullback, but maybe I don't get there. Maybe it's just like my time's running out. I don't know what the case is, but I'm still very, very impressed with Casper. This is 1 minute. And you have Amir from Casper with this particular interview with Medha Perlikar. And I don't know, on the recording, her voice is kind of, I don't know how you explain it. It's kind of scratchy. So, I mean, give me the benefit of doubt on this, but yeah, it's interesting to hear what they have to say here. This is a 1 minute. We'll come right back and then we'll kick it into the comments. Thanks for being here tonight with Crypto Talk Now. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Consider changing your avatar if you're new to something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. And please smash that like button. Thank you very much. Here we go.
So what does this do? Well, this becomes really, really cool because contracts will be able to pay for the execution of users. So users will be able to sign transactions, but the contract will pay for it. And so what does that do to the UX, like I talked about before, right? It makes the UX a whole hell of a lot easier. I can interact with the DApp. I can pay a subscription fee the way I've always paid for subscription fees. If I have this cool DApp, I'll pay $10 a month for a game or whatever. And now I can sign all these transactions and the game just covers my costs and it just meters it, right? And then when I've used up my transactions, I may have to upgrade my account to unlimited or upgrade, right? And so this is all doable. This is the way software has always been built. This is the way users expect to interact with their software. Sending them off to an exchange for them to go ahead and get some token doesn't make any sense at all. So what does this do? Well, this becomes really, really cool because
pretty interesting, right? I know she's kind of a little squeaky or loud right there, but it's okay. It's the message that's being portrayed here. Anyway, let me kick it back in the comments for a brief bit. After we get into the comments, we have some Cypherium news for you, believe it or not. So if that's what you're tuning in for, stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. Cody Core, the decent software wallet will hold HBAR. Thanks for that, Cody. Same thing with HBAR applies to Near for Ledger Wallet. Good to know because I was considering getting into Near. I also want to take more of a deeper dive into it. Cody Core, the rumors say HBAR, when put in high gear, can do over 1 million TPS. Jeez, so it's fully, a fully burstable. Interesting. All right, 40 peeps, 68 likes. Welcome everyone. Yes, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and highlight that. All right, so here you guys go. This is the Cypherium news you're looking for. And I'm going to share it in a way for you to hear it. Shout out to this new person, Flozy Flow, states Cypherium chain is too big to believe. Now, some people will say, you know, Max, she doesn't directly mention Cypherium. It doesn't matter. She doesn't have to. A lot of times, all you have to do is do what? You got to just simply connect the dots. If you're not able to connect the dots with this in regards to how big this could be for Cypherium, I don't know what to tell you. So it states Biden recently appointed Lael Brainard as top economic advisor, who is also his recently appointed Fed VP chair. Here's a video of her discussing the FedNow instant payment core infrastructure coming in 2023. And of course, what do we know when it comes to Cypherium? We know about how big it is for the whole FedNow payment service, that they recognize Cypherium, and that basically they're not stating officially, probably because of the NDA, let's be honest, and Sky CEO of Cypherium talked about this, about how he went down and he literally went down to, like, you know, the Bank of International Settlements, and so on. But the key thing is the FedNow payment system officially recognizes Cypherium. They recognize their mainnet. Yeah, they haven't stated that they're officially going to use them. Think again, connect the dots. Might be because of NDA, but there's something to be said about this whole thing of the FedNow instant payment core infrastructure and what you're going to see here to connect the dots with Cypherium. This is only 45 seconds. This is pretty big in my opinion. So listen to this. We'll be right back.
I want to particularly thank you, the early adopters, for the important investments you're making to prepare for the day when the FedNow service goes live. Together, we'll be ready to launch the FedNow service between May and July of 2023, bringing this innovative core instant payments infrastructure to financial institutions of every size across America. We've been working hard to deliver on time, but ultimately the number of American businesses and households that are able to access instant payments will depend on financial services providers making the necessary investments to upgrade our payments infrastructure. Together, we can ensure all Americans have access to a modern and reliable instant payment system. I want to particularly thank you, the early adopters.
So here's the key thing, all right? And that is, as we know, again, to reiterate what Sean, the crypto Smith, was mentioning, it's not that Ripple's moving all the money. Let's face it. We know that they're probably going to move most of it, right? And that's huge in itself. But what about the other players that can be, you know, part of the big show or part of the train that's moving? You know what I mean? Like, we're always talking about how don't miss the Ripple train, or the bullet train or whatever you want to refer to it. But could very well, could this be an example where, Cypherium is the caboose that's part of that particular train? I'm connecting the dots, and this really, really impresses me because you understand what's coming here soon for this whole FedNow payment service. By having Cypherium officially recognized by FedNow, that in itself is very, very powerful. So I think there's something to be said there. And I know it's a lot of what if and speculation, but again, I'm just connecting the dots myself. This is why I feel like, man, I do need to get more of this whole thing with Cypherium out to you guys and so on. And I think that's why some of you guys, shout out to me, myself, and I, and some of the other guys kept mentioning Cypherium. This is why you guys are so excited about it and so on, right? Combine that with it being ISO 222 compliant when it was never on the previous list that we covered before, right? If anything, I think we should have a cheat sheet 3.0. I have cheat sheet 2.0 pinned to my Twitter profile. Somebody out there basically needs to, I don't know if I'll do it. I mean, somebody needs to update and include Cypherium part of that ISO list because let's face it, it is ISO 222 compliant. And this whole thing with FedNow is huge. All right. Going to read a few more comments. And if anything, look at this one. Blackwood states, just checked, and it turns out that GBEX takes a while to transfer. It's there now, but that was the longest I've ever seen. All right, thanks for the update. I didn't mean to skip this. Larry has an announcement. Follow us on Rumble. There's the particular link. Help us get to at least 25. That would really, really help. That way we can start doing simulcasting over there. But yes, thank you for that. Cody Course says Casper supposedly is doing or is going to be used in China's digital currency. Tim Shea, Blackwood, when I moved my GBEX, it was fast. All right. Let me go further down. GS states, Blackwood, glad it transferred. Those weights can be nerve-wracking. Yeah, like, guys, remember Grizzly Bear Greg? I'm sure he was very, very, he seemed like he was pretty stressed out about it with the whole HBAR thing. But thanks for all the feedback and sharing that, you guys. Let's get more into our particular coverage for tonight. It is Jasmy, and that will, after we report on Jasmy, we'll read a few comments and then we'll wrap up the show. But if you're tuning in because you want you want some Jasmy updates, so you tune in right at the right time, please smash that like if you haven't done so already, and we appreciate you being here. Let's jump into the Jasmy news. So I saw this earlier today, and I said to myself, you know what, this is definitely worth sharing. Here it is, and basically this comes straight from Wetsy. Great info, and if anything, I'm going to go ahead and follow him because sometimes everybody has to start somewhere. So it says Jasmy will be my beggar. 100x this crypto bull run. You ask me why. I 110% trust Japanese-owned company. Please do your research. He loves Jasmy. Well, let's get into why specifically he loves Jasmy. So, for one, he sees that there could be something big here. All right, and we established that it's not a rug pull. Some people, like especially FUDs, are going to be like, oh, this was a blatant rug pull. In reality, there's blatant rug pulls where the dev team was sinister, and there's just another thing where your government basically has rugged you, if you will, by banning foreign stablecoins, Tether, Circle, and so on, right? We already mentioned that quite a few times. Now, when we get further into it, like it mentions, what exactly is Jasmy? We talked about, specifically that. I did a deep dive earlier today in regards to one of its main utilities. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Jasmy has utility. If it's the Bitcoin in Japan, then that's not the case because Bitcoin doesn't have utility. Oh, you got me there. No, hear me out. So Jasmy, if you're wondering, is a cryptocurrency project based in Tokyo in regards to the Internet of Things provider Jasmy Corporation. As a system, the Internet of Things includes, as we know, mechanical and digital elements endowed with an identifier and the ability to transmit data. And that's the key thing when it comes to Jasmy, the transmission of what data. But if anything, you get to be in charge of what happens with your data. Think about what Apple has stated, right? They basically are the the opposite of Google, supposedly, right? You know, especially if you're iPhone and so on, you like the idea that not all your data is going to, you know, Google for they could sell to other different marketing companies and, you know, plague your phone with ads and plague your television and whatever other devices, your computer with, you know, target marketed ads. Some people like that. I mean, sometimes I don't mind it. I rather get targeted with stuff that I'm interested in than, you know, something I'm not, right? But not everybody's a big fan of that. But with Jasmy, the main utility layer, okay, is specifically this. What they have got going on with what is referred to as data democratization. And if you want to learn more about that, check out our recorded video. Has a deep dive and it breaks it all down for you. And I was glad to bring that to the community. On crypto Twitter, that's already got like, I think over like 5,000 views already. It's got like more views than it has on YouTube. And, you know, shout out to the Jasmy community. They really embraced us here at CTN. And I cannot thank you guys enough. I want to give a special shout out to a guy named Zippy. He's an English gentleman who provides really great research. He has a live Twitter space talking about all things Jasmy and his research and so on. I have retweeted info if you're interested about that particular Twitter space. But nonetheless, I want to jump more into this and look at this. It says, you know, the mission of Jasmy developers is to create an environment by shaping infrastructure where users can easily, safely, and smoothly use data. As a result, Jasmy aims to provide its users with a powerful infrastructure and an intuitive interface and a secure environment for storing and sharing data in the Jasmy space. Information can be transformed into personal assets. Think about all the different crypto projects that are part of data and how well they've done. You don't think so? Look at Filecoin. Yes, you can even say BTT. You know, I'm not a huge fan of BTT at the moment because it doesn't really do much. It's a long-term hold for me. Shout out to Tim Shea with Flux. You can throw Stratos in the mix, but the key takeaway is all these particular ones have a sense of value, and if anything, some pump, some do well. But the key thing is understanding what is tied in with data. There's something to be said about data. Heck, how about Tesla? And especially the Jasmy connection when it comes to autonomous vehicles and so on, like the whole thing with Toyota, right? We covered that. That's big in itself. This whole concept that it's only going to be Tesla that's going to do the whole thing of, you know, massive data for autonomous vehicles and everything. Please. Jasmy is doing big things as we speak. They're in the process of getting the ball rolling. Look at these particular price levels and you can draw your own conclusion on like, wow, maybe that risk to reward ratio on Jasmy is very, very appealing. Yeah, no kidding. But here's the thing, not financial advice. This is just some of the things I'm personally doing. All right, a little bit more in regards to this. Who are the founders of Jasmy? Well, we know about this, right? They have backgrounds with Sony. On top of that, did you know that Jasmy was launched in October 2021? The Japanese exchange BitPoint Japan, you know, that powers the Jasmy platform, acts as the main utility token of the network and plays a vital role in building the entire Jasmy ecosystem. Also recently, they came out with, and we cover this, a particular what? They came out with a particular fan-based token. Who is probably one of the biggest ones that do fan-based tokens? That's in, I believe, the top 50. Yeah, Chiliz. Chiliz is like the ESPN of crypto, if you will. So Jasmy is getting multiple layers of utility. And I think that's the key thing I want to mention to you guys. Now, another thing I want to share with you guys is this. And that is this whole thing with Jasmy's personal data lockers. Now, I talked a little bit about this into the deep dive, but this, if anything, gives you the quick gist. And I like this, right? This came officially from Jasmy US. And if anything, I'm going to go ahead and follow them. But yeah, your data, your decision, right? You choose what happens with your data. So you see this particular diagram here, and it mentions, you know, consumer personalized data. Where does it go? Well, it has to have one point, and it goes to another. So it starts with that, right? The first point of contact. and it basically goes to being stored in the Jasmy personal data locker. From there, it goes to here. This particular point, it says payments paid in Jasmy coin to use the data. And on top of that, consumers receive what? They receive the Jasmy coin. Look at this. Then this particular point says use Jasmy coin to exchange points and coupons, which can be used in the same way as cash. Think about who is already technically doing a different form of this, but like at a much larger scale, let's be honest. Stellar, right? So I want people to understand with a visual representation of what Jasmy is all about. It's so much more than just having the label of the Bitcoin as Japan, if you will. If anything, it's kind of like maybe I shouldn't even do this with Quant anymore, right? I always say, Quant is Bitcoin with utility, right? Is Jasmy the Bitcoin in Japan? Well, maybe with utility, but if anything, they might very well be a combination of a few things. Like they might be the Stellar of Japan. They might be like a different version of the Filecoin of Japan. I mean, not exactly, right? But you can make these particular connections. They are not just a single layer crypto. So far, I came up with about 3 or 4, maybe 5 different layers of utility that they have for Jasmy. And that itself is very, very appealing when you consider the current price of what, 0.006, sometimes 7. One of the best risk to reward ones out there. All right, so a little bit more. It says show payment code to merchants by phone, drops from there, scan code and pay, boom, successful transaction. Look how many steps there are. It may seem like it's a lot, but in reality, it's 1, about 2, 3, 4, about 4 to 5, 6 steps at the most. That's not bad, considering this has a label of the Bitcoin in Japan. I mean, Bitcoin, as we know, like what is it, 5 TPS, 3 TPS? Very, very slow. So combine this with everything that they're doing with the partnerships, having more and more people understand, data democratization. I think there's a lot of potential with Jasmy, just being honest. All right, I'm going to kick it back in the comments. Thanks for joining us here tonight for Crypto Talk Now. Please smash that like. And if anything, let's recognize a few more people with the comments and so on. Blackwood says, I appreciate the support from everyone, even if you are a pervert. Mass Debater was not here tonight, so I don't know who you're referring to. I had to throw that out there. All right. Brian Dowie states, Grizzly Bear was like a 10-hour wait for or more for a stream. Yeah, I mean, I'd be sweating it too. I'd be like, Principal McVicker of Beavis and Butthead, like, where's this transfer going? He's always like sweating like crazy. Anyway, if you ever watch this show. Brian, damn, what wallet does he have? Blackwood pervert. You want to hear something funny? My dad would always joke around. He does it once in a while. He's old, 88. If he thinks somebody's like he has a different level of pervert. So you could be a pervert, but if you were an extreme pervert, you're a parvart. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Little known tidbit. Anyway, Cody Core, what's Rumble account name? All one word. Crypto Talk Now. All one word, and you can find it. GS can't remember. He mentioned it a few nights ago. Okay, never mind. Got it. Yep, there it is. Thank you, Tim Shea is always on top. But thank you so much, Tim. Jasmy to get $1-2 next bull run. I'll be happy. Yeah, more than happy. I don't know, man. Like, remember in the past I said sometimes I just feel like I just want to go all out and be like a quant maxi. I am so tempted to just say, you know what, the heck with, try to get into this particular project and that one, this one, that one. And, I'm happy with what I got because I am for the most part, right? I am so incredibly tempted to just pull the trigger and be like, you know what? As Bill O'Reilly would say, you know what? Ed, we're going live and just going all in on Jasmy. I'm not even playing. Like, it's so tempting. And in that way, I have well over 1 million Jasmy. Because again, think about what Brian Dowie just mentioned. Reaches $1. I mean, come on. It's math. Simple math. F Chili's. Hello, bought a bunch for World Cup and it dumped on me. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. I was using that as an example because, I mean, there's still some value. I mean, my thing is I'm still holding on it. There is some, you know what? There is a Jasmy. There's a Chili's update. I meant to share this with you guys. This was not planned. I'm going to give you guys some bonus coverage just for a brief moment. I did want to share this with you guys because I know some of you guys are like, well, Max told me about Jasmy and ended up being bad. The rumors sell the news, and Max is a dirty, rotten, bass fish, and he needs to go swim in the ocean. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys this real quick. It is regards to specifically Chili's. So I'm going to pull this up. It's a portfolio note update in regards to Chili's. I think I have it right here. Yeah, I do. So here's like 3 brief updates. Here we go. Not planned, but definitely part of the show. Bonus coverage. Not tagged or anything. So Chili's, this is recent. They get a new look. And if you notice, the logo's changed and so on. The token celebrated its 5th anniversary with the launch of its new Layer 1 blockchain and rebrand. The new logo is simpler, fresher, and featuring a minimalist outline of a chili in a new shade of dark pink. I'll show you that in a bit. Chili's also announced that they will share several enterprise-level projects in the coming months that build on the blockchain. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you real quick on CMC. It's nothing major, but it kind of looks like, people joke around about the whole thing of, Chili's baby back ribs, right? Well, check us out right here. I mean, literally it looks the same. I mean, I don't know about copyright infringement. I mean, it's slightly different from the restaurant, but there you go. On top of that, if you go to the Chili's site, oh, wait, did I not show you guys the previous one? Hold on. Oh, yeah, I don't think I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Here's the site, and it is completely rebranded and so on. So, yeah, there it is. We are building the Web3 infrastructure for sports and entertainment. But, yeah, you can totally see, how they rebranded this and, even with the new shirts. They have 82 fan tokens. But the key takeaway here is this. Understanding, like what I was mentioning with the whole thing with Jasmy. Jasmy recently came out with that particular fan token. And if you're wondering about what that is, I can show you on a particular thumbnail. I'm sure some of you guys have already seen this, but give me a second. So here we go. Right here. So if you go further down, see where it says Jasmy Sagan Tosu fan token is here, right? And that's a particular soccer team, if I'm not mistaken, in Japan. Now you may be thinking, well, who cares? No one gives a crap. You should give a crap because you should understand, especially if you hold Jasmy, how big that is. Because again, it kind of reminds you of what Chili's is doing, right? So just to kind of reiterate that, there it is. We did a recording in regards to, it's kind of a deep dive, I guess you could say. I don't know. I thought it was big. All right. So let me kick it back to the last bit of our news coverage. And it's just a couple more things. So if you happen to be into Matic, a lot of us are, right? Polygon, it's a big announcement about, LCX of Polygon. Well, there's this other one. It says Shemaru is bringing Bollywood NFTs to Matic, to Polygon Matic, and the WWF is using NFTs on Polygon to save the ocean. That sounds cool. So it says Shemaru is a big entertainment company in India and will be launching a variety of NFTs, including movie clips and 3D avatars on the Polygon-based Vertasi marketplace. Additionally, the WWF has launched an educational virtual metaverse that users can explore. Every time I see WWF, I literally think of like when I was a kid with the World Wrestling Federation, but whatever. It says inside are NFTs that can be purchased to fund the removal of trash from ocean and beaches. I mean, a utility-based NFT that helps the environment by removing trash from the ocean. That sounds cool, right? One last one. If you're into Tezos, and this is one I've been really wanting to take a deep dive into. I mean, even think about getting into Tezos. Like I'm literally thinking about getting into Near, Tezos, and Theta. Those three, because I like their utility. But listen to this. We were always talking about NFTs. Who cannot deny how huge the Beatles were, right? The all-time highest producing, most sold records in the history for, like, you know, not just a rock group, but any musical group, period, right? So Tezos platform, is going to release Beatles. Yeah, Beatles NFTs. 40 photographs will be minted as unique one-on-one NFTs starting in late February through early March. Now, I want to state this, right? You guys know I'm not really a big NFT guy. I have a few, right? But I want to see what could possibly happen to this, because if anything, this kind of reminds me of a big moment for NFTs. Like, you know, we saw it with Bored Apes Yachts Club, and we saw it with you know, Cyberpunks and so on. To me, this could be huge for Tezos, because Beatles, that's like mainstream. I mean, who doesn't know about the Beatles? So glad to be able to bring that to you guys. Just a brief kind of, you know, news update on some of the other ones we do cover, but not as much. I'm gonna go ahead and read the rest of the comments. Tim, me and 2-Bit fell for it. Okay. You'll get it back and much more. Yeah, you will. Just hold on to it, man, because I mean, there's times that will do well. For me personally, I mean, after I get to my goals, I will do what I like to call like a power shift. I'll swap it to like maybe some of these other ones that I feel like I need to have more of. But, you know, like it says right here, take profits. Yeah, I agree. Tim, 100%. I was trying to take quick profits to build my ISO bags. Yep, there you go. You did your, not necessarily like a power shift or anything like that, but you realized that you wanted to shift it over to that focus. And there's nothing wrong with that. Crypto McDizzle for Shizzle Manizzle for show says he gets excited and he just can't hide it when it goes lower, because he wants to. That's not what he said. I get more cheaper and better position. Don't forget why you bought it. Yes, Chili's had a big upside. Yes, it does. As does Jasmy. Yeah, I mean, it's just, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. If you're pressed for cash, like me, I want to get Casper really bad, right? I got a bunch of unexpected medical bills, and it sucks. It's not trying to make excuses, but let's just face it, sometimes it sucks. Me personally, it's just like I already put so much reinvesting in crypto. So 2021, 10K into 120K. And then I said, all right, well, I got to put some back into the bank. And then on top of that, I want to put a bunch back into crypto. And then so throughout 2022, I mean, I added it up until present. I mean, it's like basically like 60K. And just it gets to the point, it's like, you know, some people feel as though you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. But at the same time, I see what's coming up here soon with ISO 222. So yeah, part of me is like, well, maybe I should just do more. Part of me is also like, oh gosh, you know, crazy unexpected bills. So, you know, real life does happen, and it sucks, especially when you're like, dang it, now's the time I need to get a few of these particular things. But we all have reasons of what are doing what we got to do. Back with the way you read my comments, Max, is pure awkward poetry. Yeah, it's all right. I do that sometimes. All right. Oh, you have a tag? I'm it again. All right, hold on a second. Do it. Maximus, balls deep into quant. Do it now. Get to the quant shop. All right. I guess that's better than going balls deep into the 1-inch network. Oh, geez. I did see the thing about the that thing is trending. Here's what worries me about some of these terminologies, the things that are new. So you have, remember the 1 token, which is a blatant road pull years ago. Then there's the 1-inch. And then you're like, yeah, going balls deep into that. That's, oh, jeez. Welcome to DGen Crypto. No, all right. Don't worry, Mike. I'm gonna get to it just a second. Do you think Jasmy could jump in June when China? Yes, I feel like even without what you said about China/HK, you know, Hong Kong. So my thing is this: even without them even being mentioned, I feel as though Jasmy will pump due to volume. All right. I'm being honest. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. All right. If you don't think there's a tremendous amount of supply and demand as we speak for Jasmy, I will reiterate something for you. I just want to give you guys a taste of what I'm talking about here. Again, a little bit more bonus coverage, if you will. All right, so, don't worry, Mike. I'm going to get to that in just a second, buddy. I want to show you guys, where is it? That's one of my own tweets. So, let me go further down. It's one of the tweets I put out earlier about, whatchamacallit, this whole thing with Jasmy. All right, here's a taste. All right, I want to show you guys this. All right, so we got to do a little bit of comparing and contrasting. All right, in crypto, it's all about supply and demand, right? Right. As a content creator, it's all about supply and demand as well. Well, absolutely. I want to show you something interesting. So I'm going to share this tab instead. I put out this particular Jasmy video earlier today, 694 views, right? And I'm sure it's going to get over to 1,000 at some point. The one that I put out yesterday, 817 views, all right? Crypto Twitter, we're going to go back to that. On Crypto Twitter, this already has 4,829 views, 10 retweets, people appreciating it and so on. But one of the key things is, I want to show you right here. There's another one, 2,163. But that's not the point. The point is that, like for instance, what's his name? Riz. I'm going to pull up Riz XRP. He follows me back, by the way, which is cool. I'm going to get to the point real quick. So, if anything, I want to show you guys this real quick. And he basically put out a tweet. He puts out everything for, Ripple, XRP. He even follows Jasmy, obviously, right? He put out this particular one about Jasmy. But this one right here, he was like, he kind of reclipped what I posted and so on, which is cool. You didn't have to do that. But my thing here is this, right? It's not just trying to give me a pat on the back. The main key takeaway I want you guys to understand is we post a lot of stuff, right? Like, XRP, some of these other ones. But the one that is really, really gaining attention is Jasmy. And the reason why I want to state that is not just because, I'm trying to look cool or anything like that. The key takeaway is ever since, and here's my point I'm trying to make. Ever since the announcement dropped about the lifting of these stablecoins by June, there has been a huge influx wave of people just like boom, 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 Jasmy. I look at data analytics for a channel where it says like what are the key searches? Extremely high searches for Jasmy. So I take this particular time before Jasmy, right? So don't get me wrong. I came out with that one video, that first deep dive, like Crypto Mike, for instance, he was saying you should do a deep dive into Jasmy, and then I finally did, and I saw your post, Mike. You're like, hey, cool, man, thanks for doing this, and so on. And that video did well, but I'm telling you flat out, want to know when everything took off of this is immediately as soon as that news broke about the lifting of US-based and foreign-based stablecoins, right? It's particularly Circle and Tether. This is the key thing. So if anybody's tuned in just now, and I said I was going to wrap things up, I do get a little passionate about this because to me, this is where it's like, oh my God, this is where I'm like, should I basically go all in on Jasmy? Don't get me wrong. I want to get into LCX. I want to get into Casper. I want to get into Cypherium. But there's this other side of me. It's just like, you know what, man? In my gut, it's telling me maybe I should just like get over 1 million Jasmy. I'm at 100,000 right now. And I'm like, God, it's so tempting. And for these particular reasons. So to answer this question, Brian, do you think Jasmy could pump in June? Yes. Without even mentioning about this whole thing with China and Hong Kong allowing crypto trading again. Even without that. Because whenever you allow an entire country to have access again to these particular pairings, that in itself is huge because, volume equals price action. Without it, you're not going to see much. You can have as the saying goes, the greatest utility in the world, right? I shout to Cool Cat Crypto, BSV. I did, he's not here tonight, but I did a BSV video, and when he comes the next time, I'll try to point that out. Maybe some of you guys would for me anyway, but I mean, I see a lot of potential there, but it doesn't trend, and there's not a lot of people talking about it. But with Jasmy, if you enable an entire country to have access, this whole belief that it's just going to stay flat and it's not going to move and it's not going to do jack daily squat, I think that's, as I would say, I say a lot, that is absolutely malarkey. So to me, we've seen bottom for Jasmy, and I'm going to pull this up again. I know it's like kind of extended coverage because I get kind of passionate about talking about Jasmy as of lately because I mean, I'm so impressed with like the upside potential for Jasmy. I mean, I'm just going to pull this up one more time. Let's take a look at Jasmy just real quick before we wrap things up. So we did have a slight pullback. This wasn't, higher than this. I mean, it's kind of fluctuating. Currently speaking, there's not like a whole bunch of volume, but there is no denying some certain things like the circulating supply, right? 94%, of the supply is circulating. That's amazing. The max and total supply, you have those particular answers. There's this whole debate we got to take more of a deeper dive into. Mike knows what I'm talking about when it comes to some of these things that were mentioned, with that guy named Anonymous Unknown. If you guys have been following that, and we're not going to do this tonight, but we'll get more further into it in the future, maybe within the next few days. But there's something to be said about this whole Jasmy thing. I mean, when you look at this right here, if somebody didn't do more of their own research into Jasmy, they're like, I am not touching this with a 10-foot pole. This is a rug pull. They're not understanding that it's the government that basically tanked this price. Why? The supply and demand. If your government, like, it's just, I could go on and on about this, but my point is, I think we've seen bottom. I really feel as though we've seen bottom for this. And basically bottom was 0.002829 for Jasmy. We're not that far from it. So some people are like, oh man, I'm waiting for a pullback to, the common thing in the recorded section is I'm waiting for a pullback for 0.006. All right. Okay. I understand. But even with where it's at right now, I mean, you want to compare this to like how it was, towards the, like when it started tanking, like May 12th, 2021, that's my birthday. I mean, $1.85. I mean, compared to where it was, I mean, even towards half all-time highs, like, $2.50, and see where we're at now. I mean, it's just, even if a person didn't know jack diddly squat about Jasmy, did no research, the risk to reward on this has huge upside potential. It's not financial advice, but I don't know, man. It's just, I think if you combine everything that we know that's coming here soon, I mean, yeah, the focus is obviously ISO 222, but this whole thing with Jasmy, with the lifting of the stablecoins and then the multiple layers of utility, when I don't know about you guys, I used to think that Jasmy maybe just had like maybe one layer of utility, if that. But as I take more of a deeper dive into it, I'm learning all sorts of new things about Jasmy, how they have not just one layer of utility, there's actually other layers of utility. Combine that with adoption from their government and then, partnerships, the whole thing with Toyota. Man, there is insane upside potential for Jasmy. Anyway. All right. They stole WWF from the wrestlers. Yeah. Vince McMahon lost that lawsuit decades ago. Yeah, that sucks. All right. First live wrestling I went to was in the main event. It was cool, 70,000 people outdoors. If you think about it, that's crazy for the 80s. Yeah. I think that's the height of, in my opinion, those are the glory days, of WWF. All right. Let me go further down. All right. Hong Kong allowing crypto trading starting June 1st is so bullish. Yes. And in that itself is huge because, I mean, there is going to be, add that on top of what we just mentioned. with the whole thing with Jasmy and the stablecoin lift. All right, Cody Core. So Tim Shea, what you're saying is the utility bull run hits the top on June 1st. I don't know if he's saying that specifically, but it might be around there. Not sure. Yeah, not sure about that, but it's definitely bullish. I agree. There's a difference between projects hitting all-time highs and just the start of a bull run or start of a utility run. So I believe that we really start seeing things take off late March, and then other things taking off as well, like whether it's Jasmy and so on. But let's face it, I mean, this is where I feel as though, people, when they state, no, there's nothing big going to happen until 2024, 25, 25. I think what they're trying to say is like all-time highs for bull runs and so on. So, but I still think there's a lot of money to be earned in 2023. And we still see some significant gains. But that's where it's at. All right. Hold on. Jasmy is deflationary now. Oh, nor. Oh, now. Yeah, well, yes, because if anything, I mean, there was some clarification in regards to that. So, yes, that in itself is really great. And combine that with, I think, they're going to have 100%, if I'm not mistaken, by the end of the year. It's either by summer or by the end of the year, was the last I saw. I don't think anything's going to change with that, but that's what I saw, and I thought that was pretty interesting. That's what you heard. Okay. Well, guys, I think that's it. I appreciate giving you guys the bonus coverage. We're about over 3 hours into the show. But yeah, guys, it's been great doing the show with you guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, for you newcomers. And hit that like on the way out. We will see you guys here tomorrow, same time, for 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for Crypto Talk Now. And I'm hoping to get like a beta done by this weekend, and then give you guys a taste of the game show maybe by the next time we do a crypto roundtable on Wednesday of next week. It would be nice if you guys can use your buzzers and stuff, but if anything, if you're not, at least you'll have a taste of what's to come, and I'm excited about it. So thanks for joining us tonight. Be on the lookout for more particular recorded and so on. I may finally get the bull run thesis volume 6, if you will, part 6, done tonight, possibly. I want to make it just right, but data is greater than emotions. So thanks for joining us tonight. Blackwood, thanks for fun as always. Night, everyone. You guys all have a great night, and I'm sure Crypto McDizzle with his Mike Inu is going to have a great night. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. You tagged me again, didn't you? And I didn't read it? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Oh, no. Oh, no. I did, didn't I? Well, thanks for the 99-cent super chat. Hold on a second. Maybe I skipped him. Did I skip you? I did skip you. How dare me skip Mike Cornwall? All right. My bad. I got passionately talking about Jasmy. Extended coverage once again. Crypto Mike's like, damn you, Maximus. You made me pay 99 cents for you skipping something. All right. See how that worked? Didn't do it like a dev. I didn't rug you guys, but no. All right. One last one before we go. Let me just double check. I apologize, Mike. My bad. My bad. Let me see if there's other ones here real quick. Mike, just real quick, is that the only one? Is there another one? Did I forget another one? Because I need to know. But we'll share that. So as he's going to answer me, let me know. All right. So here's some bonus coverage. Shout out to Mike Cornwall with the 99 super chat. Now I'll state this. For the low cost of $9,999, I will go another 9 hours. But yes, that's the deal. $9,999. I will go 9 hours for extended coverage. Now, I might not be completely sharp, and I might be pretty much dead by then. But yes, that will keep me here for another 9 hours straight. Now, if you're going to be here, great. If you're going to go to bed, that's fine. But that's my offer. Anyway, but that's in the form of I wouldn't even say that's in the form of super chat. You would need to literally send that to me in the form of I don't know. Let's throw out you could send me some of that in XLM or USDC or something. I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. All right. Let's check this out real quick. So this comes straight from Forbes. The only issue I have with Forbes is I'm not subscribed to Forbes, and they block me on my ad blocker. So it says no tax on crypto purchases. Texas goes big on digital assets. That's cool. One thing I do like about Texas is, they do kind of remind me of Arizona, where they try to be, I guess you could say, one of the free states, if you will. You know what I mean? They're the direct answer to all the nonsense of California. And I'm not going to make anything more political than that, because politics are very divisive. Let's pull this up. Share this tab instead, please. I hope to God Forbes doesn't do that thing again. Oh, there it is. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can unblock this somehow. I disabled my ad blocker. They're like, no, you didn't. Let me take this off for now. Oh, crap. All right, let me see if that works. Oh, God. How can I enable this just for 4? All right, so this website, turn it off. Refresh. Freaking Forbes. All right. Oh, yeah. Look at all your beautiful ads. Ugh. All right. So it states no tax on crypto purchases. Texas proposes go big on digital assets. All right. This is 6 minutes we can listen to, but hold on. A new bill before the Texas legislature. Can I just state this real quick before I read this more? Who is the guy who mentioned quite a bit that I felt as though that bills were going to be, we would get something going on here soon by March? Why is that? Yeah. You may not think I follow politics and stuff like that, but I do. And I also understand that usually speaking, after you have a whole new congressional wave of newly elected officials and so on, you have to keep in mind there's a period of time by the time they get in, which is in January, and get everything set up. Then they get things going in March. That's typically how it goes. But anyway, a new bill before Texas legislature calls for a master plan for the expansion of the wants to show me notifications. No, Forbes. Jeez. Sorry. New plan for expansion that would turn. See how that ignored me or annoyed me? A new bill for the Texas legislature calls for a master plan for the expansion of the blockchain industry. That's cool in itself. This, or I should say, that could turn the state into the cryptocurrency capital of the country. That sounds great, because last I checked, the only one that really stands out right now is Wyoming. Okay. But yeah, capital of the country by introducing tax-free shopping with Bitcoin and other proposals. Oh God, we all moved to Texas? Anyway, the Texas legislature only meets in odd-numbered years. Well, by the way, Mike wouldn't have to take that long of a trip. He just goes from Oklahoma down south. But anyway, so the elected representatives need to move quickly before the opportunity to take the lead is lost. Interesting. Despite the bill's imaginative title, it contains exciting and transformative ideas for digital assets. Perhaps next time the legislator could find something that resounds a little better than relating to the creation of a working group or work group, on blockchain matters concerning this state. Government terminology aside, Carla Reyes, who is an assistant professor of law at SMU Dedman School of Law, chaired the working group and delivered the goods with far-reaching recommendations. The report was presented to the legislature in November, and it contained exciting and transformative ideas for digital assets. Cool. The recommendations are implemented in this legislative session, Texans will experience the benefits of a state leading the way in blockchain technology and cryptocurrency space. This is big. This is fun. You know what? This is cool. I'm glad we're ending things this way instead of, oh, Gary the Go for Gensler basically said this, and doom and gloom, and the market tanked a little bit, and we saw a little bit of up to 1.12 trillion max, and everything was getting so exciting, and then things pulled back to 1.08 trillion. Yes, nice to see some good news for the change. Sales tax holiday. Payments made in crypto at the point of sale will receive a 2-year retail sales tax holiday. Wow. Saving money when shopping is universally well received, and such a move would incentivize both merchants and consumers to investigate virtual currency and set up the required technology. Oh my gosh. That's awesome, because if anything, you could see what would happen, especially going into a bull run. Certain things can have what I would like to refer to as like surge spikes. Like you want to see like a power surge in, some people call it like, oh, it's a short pump, but in reality, combine that with an actual solid, bull market, you would have like these insane power surges in price. This is a perfect example of how that can be done. Because it's something in which across the board, everybody can agree on what? A sales tax holiday, like made right here, or the point being made right here, payments made in cryptocurrency. Think about all the ones that we covered and so on. Forward-thinking Texas companies are not waiting for potential sales tax savings and are moving ahead today. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have been accepted by the NFL football team, the Houston Texans, for payment of single game box suites since August of 2022. Here's the thing. I understand that part sounds appealing, but you also have to be real, about the whole stance about, their policies in regards to officially going national with crypto related statements. So I don't know. Does the NFL commission, I don't know. I mean, does Roger Goodell basically say, look, no, nothing officially mentioned about crypto, even with the Houston Texans don't mention that on a public, publicly? Possibly. I don't know. All right. It says the Texans are not necessarily holding onto digital assets. However, they are working with financial technology partners so that they may immediately exchange cryptocurrency payments for dollars. If Texas does not enact the sale tax holiday, then perhaps companies would be incentivized to hold on to the cryptocurrency and spend it for their own purchasing needs. This may be the jumpstart cryptocurrency needs to become an accepted form of payment. So here's my key takeaway. Maybe there's more to this than this. All right, yeah, there is. Let's just take a moment on this real quick. I know this is bonus coverage. I want to state this. I mean, I know that I'm reading this along with you guys, but it's nice to, reflect on this. Let's take a brief moment to understand the significance of this. So my key takeaway is this is a win-win either way. This is totally a win-win either way. So with the sales tax holiday, that in itself could pump crypto, right? So like I mentioned, especially when it comes to a bull market. All right. But again, if this doesn't happen, then if anything, this incentivizes, like it says, for companies to hold crypto and spend it for their own purchasing needs and this could very well jumpstart crypto, give the jumpstart cryptocurrency needs to be accepted in the form of payment. Yeah, we could always use jumpstart. So I don't see anything negative about this at all. This part right here, maybe this, I don't know. Bitcoin as a Texas state investment. You if anything, I mean, if we're talking about payments, really, we're gonna use Bitcoin, Anyway, I guess here's the negative aspect. So continuing with the theme of integrating Bitcoin with a state's payment activity. Really? I hope somebody in the state of Texas was say basically, no, we need to go with something else, like maybe, if it's peer-to-peer, obviously Stellar, bank-to-bank, Ripple. Come on, man, get with the picture, right? But at the same time, well, Max, the SEC thing, yeah, damn it. Pardon my French. Dang it. But there's other things, right? So there's that. It says But let's face it, on top of that, what if we get a Ripple win? What if we get a Ripple win? Oh my God, we get a Ripple win over the freaking SEC, and you combine this with this, and everything happened in March. Yeah, no, we're all rooting for this. We're all rooting for it, big time, right? But it's exciting times. This is a great find, man. Where did you get this? Might you subscribe to Forbes? You like all their ads? Maybe you're actually subscribed to them where you don't get ads anyway, where you pay for it. Bitcoin mining by the government. Let's hear this real quick. The city of Fort Worth information technology. I've been to Dallas Fort Worth twice, by the way. My gaming group, DPG, we went there in 2007 and 2008. It was pretty cool. Anyway, so the city of Fort Worth information technology department received 3 donated Antminer S9 Bitcoin mining rigs in 2022. And the city undertook a pilot project. Okay. I can understand why they're putting so much emphasis on Bitcoin as a payment, because they're so invested into it. But man, if they see the potential with this, with Bitcoin, then I'm telling you, man, get a Ripple win. You would think somebody there would be like, yeah, you know what? Let's implement Ripple. Anyway, the effort grew impactful enough that there are 3 machines that were replaced throughout the year with more energy efficient and powerful Antminer S19 units. Carlo Capua, the city's chief of strategy, sorry, I just didn't want to talk all plugged up. Advised the city to continue with mining activities at the city level. Capua did note that the pilot project was not an investment or day trading Bitcoin, but an opportunity to study the implications and the opportunities of mining. Perhaps it was from this effort that the working group learned more about potential advantages for Bitcoin mining and the energy sector. And if anything, it's Texas, right? So, I mean, Texas, they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm sure they're going to take some criticism probably in the future about these mining rigs aren't like pro-green, and, proof of work is not pro-green. All the energy consumption, it's not pro-green. Teaches on, right? So it says Bitcoin mining tax incentives. This is good. We don't know about this. So the recommendations included tax abatement on the natural gas previously flared that would be used to mine Bitcoin, and a tax incentive on electricity sales for large flexible loads such as Bitcoin miners. Basically, that's my friend probably wondering, what the heck, man? We have plans tonight, and he doesn't understand doing extended cover. So I got to wrap this up real quick. But I'll get into it. I am going to wrap it up real quick. So my thing is this. So you have to, there's a lot of discussion in regards to, from a negative point of view, right? The energy consumption of all the mining, right? That's a thing, right? Here's how you sell this to the people, just real quick. So it says the recommendations included a tax abatement and natural gas previously flared, so reread this, and tax incentive on electricity sales for large flexible loads such as Bitcoin miners. This is how you sell it to the public when it comes to the whole negative aspect of, well, the energy consumption, and this is not good for the environment, so on. This is how you sell it. You got to have a way of selling it. All right, so the severance tax abatement supports an environmentally friendly transition from flaring gas to consuming gas on site in a generator. This will win proposal changes the tax incentives from flaring gas to consuming gas when that gas can be used on site, and will bring jobs and economic activity to rural parts of Texas. That sounds good. The tax incentives on electricity are intended to be part of the solution for establishing a strong and resilient grid. The proposal is that the miners work with the Texas electricity grid operator, ERCOT, under a controllable or interruptible load strategy. Of course, they have blockchain education. That's always a good thing. Let me see about this. The future of Texas. Hold on a second. That's it. Maybe there's a little bit more in regards to that, but I'm not going to get into that. You can take more of your own deeper dive into it. Hold on. So let me see if my ad blocker is told. No, okay. So I got saved at least if I have any problems with Forbes again. Anyway. All right. So Crypto and Mike doing it big. Extended coverage. About time we hear about something positive about crypto. Yeah, I mean, that was great news. So we need to end things on great news. Apparently, you guys get a little bit more priority over my friend. If you're wondering how that goes. Oh, Max don't care about us. He has to go to his friend. Well, I did have plans with him, and he is probably like WTF right now. But yeah, it's just playing some Battlefield 5 in that regard. I mean, it's no big deal. You and I can take a break every once in a while. It's my first time playing a game in over a month. But yeah, designed to load Texas with crypto millionaires. Oh, thanks for the other super chat. Sorry about that. All right, let me go back up. Thank you for that, Mike. Let me see what I missed, I should say. No tax, Texas, Max Voyeur Crypto Cam. Wait, what? Where? Max. Oh, I'm watching Max trying to cheat the Forbes system was worth the 99. You know what? I have. I mean, you know, I basically taken screenshots, you know, where it's like, all right, Forbes, take that, you know, boom. But whatever. I mean, I technically could. Never mind. There's ways around everything. He probably downloaded Metallic songs. Oh, Metallica's. Hey, hey! I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Anyway, you're bad, very bad. All right, that was worth it, huh? All right, you probably downloaded Metallica songs. Yeah, well, loose lips sink ships. Anyway, hey. Enough about the Metallica, okay? Anyway, cramming. I mean, I like Metallica, but cramming thousands of millionaires into Texas would be blow the economy up big time. Hold on, I forgot to read this one. Probably more about Doge being used in the stadiums. Surely Mark Cuban and Tillman has some input on this legislation. Cramming thousands of millionaires into Texas would blow the economy up big time. All right. About time we hear something positive about crypto. Doge is already in use at the Mass Stadium. I'm guessing Doge will be the leader in Texas with Elon living in Austin. With Elon living in Austin. Why would he live in Austin? Oh, yeah. Austin, Texas, the capital. I read that wrong. I read that in a bad way. Like, never mind. You don't want to. For some reason in my head, I'm like thinking you guys are doing like the degen stuff, and I'm not thinking of like Austin, Texas, as in the capital. I read that as in like, you know, Elon Musk living in awesome Austin, which is, never mind. That's horrible. All right, that's bad. All right, so welcome, Frederick. Maxim and Max, go play with your friends. One friend. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a call because he's probably like, dude, what the heck, man? But yes, the news must prevail and super chats must reign, but not for $2. Anyway, I'm glad that you guys were entertained with my ad blocker. Yeah, you know darn well that you have an old Napster window sticker that's collecting dust on an old 1969 Ford LTD that's been collecting dust for the last 20 years as part in some rural area that you live in. But anyway, all right, I will. Tesla factory was built in Austin. Yes, I just, again, it was the degen moment earlier. I just was like, that's, you know, Elon living in, never mind, forget it. All right, I'm finally going. Last chance to drop the 9,999 super chat for 9 hours straight. Going once, going twice. It's gone. Have a great night, everybody. I guess I'm going to get some chow and play some Battlefield 5. All right. Peace out.